We'll save that for later. Shalom, shalom, Israel. Welcome back to another edition of SOT Ministries, Sword of Truth. Again, I'm back again. The water for allowing me to come out and teach you guys something new. WL will be back next week, more than likely. If not, I'm always here as well. I'm Elisha. For those that are new, those that don't understand, those that don't know, this is my brother over here.
I'm
Yathi. And today's topic, I was going to go for something more basic, like we did last Wednesday. But I think the topic needs to go this direction based off of events and things that's going on within our own camp. And normally if it's going on in our own camp, it's kind of something that should be talked about for everybody else to see. So, the topic of today is going to be pride. The specific title is Pride, the Rejection of Your Grace. Pride, the Rejection of Your Grace. Before we get going, shout out to Kawakab, of course, in this congregation. Shout out to SOW out in Rochester, New York. Can't wait to see our brothers for Passover this year. Shout out to Houston, Quatzab in Houston. And shout out to Kazakia and Virginia. Salakia. Having a little mental lapse again. But that being the case, the water for you guys for tuning in. And let's get right into the topic. So, let's get Leviticus 26 and verse 40 through 42. Leviticus 26 and verse 40 through 42.
Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 40.
Let me see something real quick. Let me see if I want to pull the definition of pride. I don't know if everybody knows what it is. Let's get pride. Give me the noun and pride number one. Just so we have that on top of our head. Yep.
Pride, 1828, Webster Dictionary. Point number one.
Yep.
Inordinate self-esteem.
Inordinate self-esteem. Read.
An unreasonable conceit of one's own superiority and talents.
So it's an unreasonable or not realistic belief in your own talents. Read.
Beauty.
Read.
Wealth. Accomplishments.
What you've done in this life. The things you've achieved. Read.
Rank.
Value. Read.
Or elevation in office.
Or value in your specific position. But what it is this spirit that we take on starts getting manifested after a period of time. Now, before we get into how it got manifested, and when we start seeing that in men, when we start seeing that in sisters, we got to kind of look back at where we were at before that pride started showing up. Yes, sir. What you got?
One more thing right here.
Give me that one more thing. What you got?
It also means contempt of others.
Contempt of others. So pride can manifest in how you look at other people as well. All right. So,
we're talking about something similar earlier today, and you can only see these things when you're around a group of people or individuals every day.
Yep.
You don't we go to a church and you see each other on Sundays.
Yep.
Or maybe once a week. You're gonna see everything good about them. Maybe their language is proper. Their conduct,
they're not speaking in contact,
right?
Like Kamala is.
Always polite, accommodating, all these things. But once you get to the nuts and bolts of somebody, then it starts to ooze out.
So what you're saying is, you can't be the representative in a camp when I see you every day or every other day. Now I can't fake it if you're my face every single day.
Right.
When I have an off day and I show myself and how I respond to my off day, you can't fake that. But if you don't see everybody very often, you can mask the folly, you can mask the pride, you can mask the attitude, you can mask it for a longer period of time. But in our particular dynamic, and again, this is not for everybody. Not everybody has this dynamic like us, right? In our dynamic, for the men specifically, we see the men every day. Every day. If you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, I know. We know each other so well. I know immediately once you get out of the car if you're having a bad day. I know immediately if you woke up on the wrong side of the bed or not. Or I know if you always wake up on the wrong side of the bed. And this is just how you are. And you take some time to kind of get going and kind of open up and kind of, loosen up yourself. But you start seeing and picking up on those traits. And you have to really know the person who they are before you start correcting and start dealing with them. For other camps, that name might be a little different. You don't get to see them very often. So therefore, it's hard to pinpoint what someone's issue may be or what someone's the fault or sin is, right? But besides that, when we come into the truth, there's a common thing that I've seen, that I've heard, and I just kind of understand. You're coming to the truth because you realize what the world was providing wasn't doing it for you. Whether that been the heartbreaks, whether that been the misuse, mistreatment, whether that been just failures, whether that been the fact that, you know what, I never was anybody in the world. With more times than not, this is people's last chance to get themselves together. Most people don't come in here at the height of their careers. They're not coming here at the height of their pride, the height of their beauty, the height of their status, the height of their strength, the height of their intellect. They're not coming from doctor degrees and letting their doctor degree go and coming to serve God and taking that huge pay cut, that status cut, that societal cut. That's just the reality. So when we understand that, it also means the Most High has broke us down to that point. Because he wanted to break that pride before we got into this truth. Because he realized, understood, I can't work with a person who has this self-conceit or is overestimating their abilities. All right? So I want to set the tone before we read this verse to kind of give some backdrop. Give me that in verse 40.
Come, Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 40 reads, if they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers with their trespass which they trespassed against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me.
What the Most High is doing is setting the stage. If you wanted that redemption, which we did and which we do, which is why we're in the class, which is why we study, which is why we do the action to go above and beyond. But because he wanted that redemption, he's letting us know there's got to be some admittance here. There's got to be some acceptance of who I was and what got me to this point. I was the problem. I made mistakes. I'm living the consequence of not only my actions, but also my forefathers' actions, my parents' actions, their parents' actions. There has to be some self-accountability here. That's what he's reminding us. Read on.
Verse 41. In that... Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 41. In that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies.
And this is what we read last Wednesday. Because our forefathers, or we, or our parents were contrary, we had to live a very difficult life. And you talk to the average Israelite, this is a common theme. You can find the curses in their life one way or another. All of our curses may not fit every aspect of every person, but you'll find it somewhere, one way or another, because the Most High is not letting anybody escape by this. So keep reading.
Come, if then their uncircumcised hearts be humble.
Remember about the uncircumcision, right? It wasn't just about the flesh. The uncircumcised heart was the mind that was not going to live according to God's laws. It was more than just the physical action. And that's why Wednesday was so important. So we had to paint the picture. The fact that we've been walking contrary since the beginning is why the Most High has dealt with us so difficult, so hard. Read on.
And they then accept the punishment of their iniquity.
Yep.
Then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land.
He says, he's very specific. If you want that redemption, you want that forgiveness, I have to accept I was contrary first, and I had to humble myself down. Which means I have to convince not only myself, but believe in the fact that I was wrong, and I deserved it. Now, what can I do to get back in the good graces of the Most High?
And what was also uncircumcised, other than the heart? The ears.
Okay. Exactly.
We were not listening to instructions.
Okay. We weren't listening to instructions. Before, some of us had multiple instances or came across multiple people that were trying to bring the truth out to us. It took a long time for it to be received. That's a lot of people's stories as well. So they were given multiple opportunities to get brought into this mindset earlier, which could have prevented heartbreak earlier, which could have prevented loss earlier. But we chose what we wanted to do. We chose our thought process and got deeper and deeper into our own destruction. But that's not the point. The point is, what the Most High is saying is, if you want that forgiveness, if you want that grace, which is something that's not deserved, but it's given to you, because the Most High cares about us that much, because Christ cares about us that much, that forgiveness, that mercy, says you have to humble yourselves down. Now give me Baruch 4 and 28.
Baruch chapter 4, verse 28.
Baruch chapter 4, verse 28. For as it was your mind to go astray
We're
from
saying
the Most High,
we had a choice, and we always have a choice on how we act, how we respond, how we operate in our day-to-day lives, and before we got in the truth. We had a choice. That's why he's holding us to such a high standard. You had a choice. You actively wanted to do the negative that you were doing. You actively wanted to make your mistakes. You knew right from wrong. Even if you didn't know the specific scripture, there was an influence in your life that told you this probably isn't right. Taught you a little bit, taught you something, and you still didn't want to do it. So you had a choice, and therefore you had to live the consequence of your actions. But now that you're coming back into the realm, you're coming back into the truth, and you want to get healed, you want to get saved, you want to be redeveloped, which a lot of us do, and a lot of us start off wanting to do, we have to take what mentality? And what mentality did we take? Read on.
for as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more.
He says the way to get forgiven and the way to get realigned with the Most High is once I've made my mistakes in the world, once the decisions that I made didn't work out, once the relationships that I tried to go after didn't work out, once the friendships I tried to attain didn't work out, now I realize, okay, I got to seek the Most High 10 times harder. Whatever that might be, whatever level of effort, dedication I put into the people in the world, effort, dedication I put into the things that I care about in the world, my passions, my careers in the world, can I do that much more in the truth realm? That's what he's saying. That's if you actually want this grace, this development, this forgiveness. But let that go. Give me 2 Kings 22 and 19. We're not going over this to say that brothers and sisters aren't doing this, but this is how we start. That fire, that motivation, that desire to be healed, the desire for salvation, the desire for information. That is us seeking the Most High, giving it our best shot for it. 2 Kings 22 and verse 19.
God, 2 Kings 22 and 19.
Let me get there really quick.
God, okay.
All right, read that.
God, 2 Kings 22, 19. Because thine heart was tender.
He says, because your heart, when you got in the truth, when you opened up this Bible and said, I want to learn the Most High, your heart was tender. Give me tender in the 1828, correct. I think it's point 3. That's very important.
Tender, 1828, Webster's Dictionary, point number 3.
Yep.
It says, any offer for acceptance.
Read it again.
Any offer for acceptance.
So it says, when you were at your lowest, and your uncircumcised heart was now humbled, and you realize my way doesn't work anymore, and my path that I chose to live does not work, and has failed over and over again. Now I'm at a point where I'm tenderhearted. Read it again.
It says, any offer for acceptance.
And willing to do anything to get the acceptance of the Most High. Whatever I have to do, whatever I have to read, whoever I have to talk to, I'm going to do it because I realize it's no longer about me. And I realize my way and my decisions are not working out for me. So there's got to be a better way. And I'm going to try this Christ thing because I think this could work out for me. That's the state of mind the Most High loves. That's the state of mind he's only going to work with. That tender-hearted mind. So let me read that in the scriptures again.
And that's what he said in Baruch, so being returned.
Exactly. Because you're being returned. Meaning, now that I want to get back with the Most High, now that I want to get realigned with Christ, I have to take this certain mindset. And I'm not saying people haven't. A lot of us have. But the problem is, have we kept it? Have we kept that tender heart? Have we kept that willingness to do whatever and however I got to do it to get into the kingdom, to be accepted? That's the problem. That's where the pride kicks in. But keep reading.
God, 22 and 19 of 2 Kings. Because thine heart was tender, and thou hast humbled thyself before the Lord, when thou heardest what I spake against this place.
He says, you humbled yourself in front of the Lord when you realize this place ain't going to last much longer. When you realize the lifestyle I'm trying to live and aspire for might not be here much longer. When you realize I got an answer for the liberty and the time I chose to reject the Most High. That's when the fear of the Lord kicked in. When I realized my ways and to get me kicked out of heaven and not accepted, that's when I realized something's wrong. When I realized what the church is telling me, that all I got to do is accept Jesus Christ, my personal Savior, and you got Jeffrey Dahmer in the world doing the same thing, and you realize that don't make no sense? So you can kill, rape, destroy, kill, go to war, and you're good, if you just say, I love God, when you realize that don't work no more, and you get there's got to be something else for you, now you got the fear of the Most High. Now I'm going to do whatever and study whatever to get in his good graces. But that's the point he wanted all of us to be in. That's the only time we'll actually listen. Because the scripture says in Deuteronomy 32:15, Jeshurun waxes fat and kicks. When we're comfortable, when we have the life we want, when we have the relationship that we want, when we have the lifestyle that we want, when we have the status that we want, when we have the job that we want, we have the comforts that we want, we choose to ignore the Most High.
And also, too, we get comfortable being in this setting that, you know what, my brother's going to forgive me.
Oh, but before you get into that, this is before we get into the setting. This is before we've gotten to the truth. Because remember, when we get into the truth, because you're right on point, when we get into the truth, we are humble. When we get into the truth, we are willing to listen.
Bright eye and bushy tail.
We will receive any counsel from anybody. We don't even know who's telling righteous or not. We don't even know what's wisdom or not.
Our posture is different. Like, yes, sir.
We're alert. We ain't sleeping in class. We're not fighting with anybody. Yeah. We're not catching the attitude on anybody.
Antennas are up.
The antennas. You always see the new brothers, the new sisters. They be like, "There's a lot going on." I just blitz the whole class 2 hours straight. I commend them because I remember that time when you hear the truth for the first time. Christ is black and God loves you and He chose you and you are the servant that He's always been looking for. That sounds great, and we accept it and we love it. We love the feeling of it. But what comes afterwards is the problem. What comes afterwards is we lose that humility. What comes afterwards, we forget that tender heart. We forget that feeling we had when we were going to do whatever we had to do to serve the Most High. But keep reading.
God, when I middle of 19, when I spake against this place and against the inhabitants thereof, that they should become a desolation and a curse, and has rent thy clothes and wept before me.
When we realize our actions and the path we're taking is a lead to destruction, and is the reason why our lives was the way it was the reason why our parents were the way it was the reason why we were in slavery in the first place, was the reason why we're at the bottom of the totem pole. When we realized all of that, we understood there's a power in this. There's a power in this, and I need to follow this. I need to follow this influence. And I'm going to do whatever I got to do. Read on.
I also have heard thee, saith the Lord.
Then He hears you. You gotta pay attention to that. He heard you when you finally accepted the fact, you know what? I'm not gonna make it if I don't change. If I'm not humble, Lord's not gonna answer my prayers. If I'm not humble, I'm gonna end up destroyed like the rest of these people. If I'm not humble, I'm also gonna have a broken home. I'm also gonna have broken relationships. I'm also gonna have children spread all over the place. I'm also not gonna have a life that I thought I wanted to have. I see the path. I see the writing on the wall. Let's make a change as soon as possible. This is the thought process that the Most High honors and He listens to. And He's waiting. He's waiting for us to get to this low point. Read on.
Verse 20. Behold, therefore, I will gather thee unto thy fathers, and thou shalt be gathered.
It's like it. I didn't need that.
Okay.
Man, my fault. Give me what you got. What you got? That verse you pulled, just to prove that what I was saying earlier.
Hosea 4:7.
Yeah, that Hosea 4:7. Hosea 4:7, really quick.
Hosea chapter 4, verse 7.
Yep.
As they were increased, so they sinned against me.
And this is the point. So the Most High understands this nature about Israel. Why would He allow us to still increase? Let me take that back. Read from the top again.
Hosea 4:7. As they were increased, so they sinned against me.
When we were winning, when we win, we have a propensity and a habit to sin. We have a propensity and a habit to forget the Most High. We tend to do what we want to do. We tend to forget the fact that the Most High, the prosperity of man is in the Most High's hands. And He can switch your circumstance like that. We forget that because you're winning. You can't see how you're losing. You can't see the stocks crashing. You can't see the house catching on fire. You can't see a random pipe busting and flooding your house up. You can't see your insurance company that was supposed to cover that pipe bust went out of business last year. You didn't know about that. So now nobody knows where this money's coming from. This is a real story, by the way. I actually heard it from a customer. Their insurance company Didn't cut and cover it, so they didn't cover the whole thing out of pocket. Their $350,000 house gone like that. Who would have thought? They would have never imagined that. Also, it was one flooded house. You can't see someone a tailbone you, and your nice new car gets wrecked. You can't see some crazy disease hitting you, and now you can't even work anymore. And your whole lifestyle is completely turned upside down. We don't see that. We just see what's in our face. I see the money in my face now. I see the relationship in my face now. I see the status in my face now. I see what I could be right now. But I don't see that it could change at any moment, any time. But read it again.
Hosea 4:7. As they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore, will I change their glory into shame.
And some of us needed that shame. Give me that. Actually, give me 2 Corinthians 8 and 7. Some of us needed that shame to see God for who he was. I believe it's 2 Corinthians 8 and 7. Because without that shame, some of us would have never came in the truth. Even though we know God's real. Even though we know this is the right way of operating. Even though I know I believe in the Bible. I believe in the Bible, but I don't necessarily believe in all these sacrifices and changes I'm going to have to make for Christ. A lot of people have that thought process. And until they get destroyed, or until their life is upside down, is when they realize, oh snap, I'm not in the right space. It's 7 and verse 10, sir. 2 Corinthians 7 verse 10.
Got it. 2 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 10.
Give me, yeah, 10's fine.
Got it.
Yep.
2 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 10. For godly sorrow worketh repentance.
It says what?
For godly sorrow worketh repentance.
Some of us need that realization that we've been stepping on God's toes. They need that realization that my life has been a stain and disgrace in the Most High's eyes. So they can feel some remorse. So they can get some motivation. Stir some spirit in them to want to make a legit change. Only godly sorrow can do that. Read on.
Right. For godly sorrow worketh repentance to salvation, not to be repented of.
But you know it's godly sorrow and not worldly sorrow, because godly sorrow doesn't have a person go back into their filth again. The same filth that they ran from. The same filth that they felt so bad about. The same lifestyle that they were trying to avoid and try to change from. That's how you know it's godly sorrow. Because that godly sorrow maintains them. It maintains their motivation to keep changing. Read on.
Right. It says, but the sorrow of the world worketh death.
Because the sorrow of the world is disingenuous. The sorrow of the world is not consistent. The sorrow of the world is crocodile tears, and I'm going to go back and do my dirt anyway. Because God loves me. Because that's what my pastor said. That's what my mama said. So I'm going to believe that. I'm going to do whatever I want. I can live how I want to. I can live how I want to live with no consequence of my actions. But as I'm getting stung in my life, now I can't see it's the Most High. I look at it as, oh, this is fate. It's just the universe. It's just this life. But the Most High stinging you specifically. But anyway, let go. Give me Revelations 2 and 3. Why do we go there? Because that fear of destruction, that fear of failure, that realization that my lifestyle was conscious of the Most High this entire time is what motivated us to keep striving in this truth, to keep studying this truth, to keep counseling, keep opening up, keep being humble, allowing us to be remolded and being moldable. Give me that Revelations 3 and verse 2. We're going to go all the way down to 5.
Come.
No, 3 and 3, my fault. 3 and 3.
Come. Revelations chapter 3, verse 3 reads, remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast, and repent.
Remember your starting point. Remember how you felt, and what motivated you to come down here anyway, to read anyway, to serve anyway, and hold fast to that motivation. And repent if your mind starts slipping, if your integrity starts slipping, if that pride starts getting fueled again, because now there's stability. Now you're comfortable. Now you've got some wins in the truth. Now your life has stabilized. It's no longer chaotic. Your thoughts are no longer chaotic. You're not battling those same demons you're battling in the world. Because that's where that pride gets picked up again. Now that I got comfortable and the fear of destruction is no longer on me anymore, then the old man starts reemerging. The old woman starts reemerging again. It says you got to hold fast to that original thought process. Read on.
Come. If therefore thou hast not watched, I will come on thee as a thief.
It says, if you don't take this mentality, when I slide up on you, when you least expect it, read.
It says, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. Thou hast a few names, even in Sardis.
Hold on, my fault.
Okay.
Give me 2 and 3. That was still dope anyway. Give me 2 and 3. Okay. That was still dope. It was in the spirit though. That wasn't the original verse, but that was in the spirit. Give me 2 and 3, verse 5.
Revelations chapter 2 and verse 3 reads, and has borne, and has patience, and for my name's sake has labored, and has not fainted.
What we don't realize is that fire that we first show when we come in, that level of dedication, level of willingness to be molded, level of willingness to be corrected, the Most High remembers that. Because He remembers, what are you at your most zealed up state? At your most zealous, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to lose? What are you willing to give up? Remember, that tender-hearted person is willing to do anything, to offer anything for acceptance for Christ. He knows it. He knows where our level was at. He knows how far we're willing to go at our most zealed and powerful state. So He hasn't forgotten that. He hasn't forgotten what you want to give up or what you have given up. He hasn't forgotten how patient you have been or how patient you're willing to be. Read.
Come, verse 4. Nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee.
But now that He knows, He's got a problem with us. Why is that? Read.
Because thou hast left thy first love.
He said, because we left our first love, our first zeal. When we first came in, there was nothing stopping us. Correct? We sought correction. We told people, I need you to tell me I'm off. Don't let me slide by if I'm slipping. So I didn't get saved. I've heard some out of brothers' mouths before. And then months later, they can't be told a lick of nothing. I need you to check me every time I slip. For the slightest of things. Don't let me destroy myself. That's the level of love that we wanted to show the Most High. Level of dedication, level of sacrifice.
And this was always in us, according to Baruch 4:28. For as it was in your mind to go astray, it was always inside of you. It was not something that just sprouted up.
But that spirit of going astray, that spirit of rebellion, is what fueled us to be super righteous. Because we know we mess ups.
Yeah.
We know we make mistakes. And we know what the mistakes we've made. We know the dirt we've done. And when you read the Bible, and you read about all the dirt that we were doing back in the day, and the consequences for that dirt, that puts the fear of God in you. That puts the fear of God in you. I'm going to die. Oh, I should have been dead. Or I should have been forgotten about. Or I should have had a really hard life, according to the scriptures. That puts the fear of God in you and puts the motivation to make the changes you had to make as soon as possible. Which means that godly sorrow develops a sense of urgency in us. When you got a sense of urgency, when you have zeal, what do you not have? Pride. You don't have pride if you have a sense of urgency that I'm not nothing. I need to change as fast as possible. You don't got pride when you realize I came from nothing and I don't know nothing about nothing. Because you're learning, because you're soaking everything up. A baby can't have pride because a baby knows nothing. My son has no pride in him until he got like 1 year old. Then he has some pride. We started to know how to little jabber a little bit and say his little baby talk. Then he had a little pride, a little rebellion. Before that, he wasn't saying nothing. He was just soaking everything up, laughing and smiling, just watching. But we're the same way in the spirit. When we don't know nothing, we don't understand. Hey, this must be Christ. This must be right. This must be how the Most High wants things to operate. I'm going to take it for what it is. Because I believe and love that much more. Read on.
Verse 5. Remember therefore from whence thou art fallen.
Christ says, remember where you were at. Remember where you were at before you got into truth. And remember where you could be at. Just because you got stable, just because you got comfortable, just because now I am confident in who I am as a person now, Christ has built me up to be confident, and my presence has got stronger, my knowledge has got stronger, and now I have an opinion. Remember where you're at. Read on.
Come and repent.
And repent. You better pray and ask for forgiveness. Read.
And do the first works.
Because if you don't do those first works, Christ has a problem with you. Christ is an odd against you. If you don't have the same level of humility, Christ has an issue. Read.
Come, or else I will come unto thee.
I will come delayed.
I will come unto thee.
I will come in 8 years.
I will come unto thee.
No, I might come tomorrow.
I will come unto thee.
Read.
Quickly.
Ooh, quickly or slowly?
Quickly.
That means you don't know when it's going to sting you. So if you didn't have such urgency now, you better have one. Because you can live tomorrow and your life be upside down. You can leave and your life be upside down. It don't take much. We're shielded from a lot. Whether we know it or not, we're shielded from a lot. Read.
And will remove thy candlestick out of his place.
He says, I'm going to remove your candlestick, meaning I'm going to remove your place in heaven. I had a place for you. I had a spot for you. But I'm going to take that away unless you do what?
Except thou repent.
If you don't repent, your chance of salvation is getting blotted out. Your name is getting erased. This is the thought process that we have to take. What you got?
No, I was going to say, it reminded me like, you know how you go to the club and they say your name is not on the list?
Yeah.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah. You want in the VIP list.
Yeah,
you're not important. You go on the side. You got to pay the regular admin fee. Everybody else get to walk in and they get to be in the high seats.
You can't go in at all. You can't. They won't let you in at all.
I never been to that. Look,
yeah,
I ain't been invited to that club. I don't know about them, but I believe. Yeah, where the celebrities is at,
right?
And the superstars at. You ain't getting them. You ain't getting them. And that's the point. Like Chris Brown said, how you getting outside the club? You can't even get in. I had to throw it in. I had to throw it in there, bro. Let that go. Give me Jeremiah 44:9. You can't get in. Leg up.
45:9, right?
45:9 through 11. Jeremiah 44.
Okay, 44.
I said 45. My fault. 44 and verse 9 through 11.
Jeremiah chapter 44, verse 9.
Yep.
Have ye forgotten the wickedness of your fathers?
Have you forgotten the wickedness of your fathers? They got you and got us in the same spot. Have we forgotten the fact that we're slaves? And we've been slaves for 2,000 years? We have been slaves in every kingdom in the world. Every time in history, black folks are slaves to somebody. We were slaves to the white man several times. We were slaves to the Arab man several times. We were slaves to the Chinese man. We were slaves to the Japanese man.
You could take it even further back. What caused Adam to fall? Right? That was the fall of man, right? Quote unquote.
Yeah. It's his pride. It still goes back to pride. Why can't I do X, Y, and Z? Why can't I eat X, Y, and Z? It still goes back to pride. But what does pride do? It puts you in captivity. And we are the kings of captives. We're the best captives in the world. We're the best slaves in the world. Actually, the Most High said, give me that, Jeremiah 2:14. Because the Most High asks this question all the time. Do we desire to be this way? Do we desire to be slaves? Because actually, we're showing we do. Are we a homeborn slave? We talk about it. Do we love generational curses? Give me that, real quick.
Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 14. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave?
I thought I made y'all to be royals. I thought I made y'all to be teachers. I thought I made y'all to have some status, some decor about yourself. But why are you doing slave things? Why are you operating in a captive state of mind? What are you doing?
Working the meanest of jobs.
The meanest of jobs and having the meanest of morals. The worst. You have the worst morals in the world. Our wickedness succeeded or exceeded the nations. You had all this power, all this scripture, all this knowledge, and we chose folly all the time. Which, in turn, go back to Jeremiah 44 and verse 9.
Jeremiah chapter 44, verse 9. It says, have ye forgotten the wickedness of your fathers?
Because just like our forefathers forget our wickedness, and after we had a great king in Israel and he taught us how to live righteously, and the next king comes in and messes it all up, and we go back into our filth, we do the same thing now. We quickly forget who we are and who we could be. We quickly forget how our negative is in our DNA.
Redundant, becomes redundant.
That rebellion is in you, and it's not going away unless you force it out. Read on.
And the wickedness of the kings of Judah, and the wickedness of their wives.
All of us were wicked. The king, the royals were wicked. Their wives was wicked. Our forefathers was wicked. Read.
And your own wickedness.
We wicked. Not just our parents. We're wicked. How about that? We're sinners. The sins we've done deserve death too. We can't just blame the parents. Oh, y'all, if you would raise me like this, Dad. If you raised me like this, Mom, I would have been better. No. That wickedness is in you too. You got rebellion too. You like what you like too. Read on.
It says, which they have committed in the land of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem.
Read on. So what we're saying is, we've been doing this. Yeah. Whether we're in our own kingdom and we had our own sovereignty, or we're in the streets of the nations, we've been wicked. So when I'm trying to seek God, and I get pride again, and I can't be told anything again, this is what Moses asked himself. Did you forget who you were? Did you forget where you came from? How I've spared you? This is what he's asking. Who do you think you are? Who do we think we are if we have an opinion? Why do we have an opinion? We don't.
They are not humble.
What?
They are not humble.
We're never humble. We're not humble when we get wins. We're not humble when we're on top. Which one most like keeps at the bottom. If we're at the top, we're not going to change. The more we win, the more we rebel. That's the constant theme that we've shown the Most High over generation after generation. We're not special. Don't tell yourself, I'm different. That couldn't be me. If I won, and I won the lottery, and I was on top of the world, I would have still loved God. No, you wouldn't have. You would have found a way to defy yourself one way or another. It's in you. What you got?
And that's crazy that you just said that, because that goes back to the verse you just read. It doesn't matter where we're at, because we were in the land of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. Because some people would say, well, if I was in the Holy Land, I wouldn't have no pride.
No, you keep going.
Yeah, but it's like, I wouldn't have no pride if I was in the Holy Land or this, that, and the third.
You keep going.
Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't have no issue if I was in the land. You know, brother, if I was in Jerusalem, don't you know, there'd be no pride. Because I'm in the land of Jerusalem.
Exactly.
But it's crazy because it's saying here, bro, we were so prideful. We were in the Holy Land and still had pride.
We had our own land plots to where you couldn't even really see your neighbor like that. How about that? How much land do we had to where your neighbors aren't even visible? And the Most High has to create high holy days to force you to see your neighbor. Because you're so far apart, you ain't going to see him. You're not going to see him. There's no telephones. You can't call them up.
You got to say that again.
The Most High had to create high holy days. Because we had so much land and power that the only way to force us to get together was a high holy day. And he forced you to see each other every single day for 50 days straight. You don't build this relationship.
It makes sense. I despise that. What is that? I despise that. His feast day.
Well, you despise the feast day because it's fake. It's fraudulent.
Man.
It's fraudulent because you're just doing it for the ceremony. I'm just doing it because God said. I'm not genuine, but I don't really care. I don't really want to be here. I got crops to grow. I got things to plant right now. I got things to do. Who's watching my cows right now? Who's taking care of my sheep? I want to relax. I want to drink my wine. I got a vineyard growing right now, bro. New vineyard, top of the line. I've been aging this wine for a long time now. I want to try that. That's what I want to do. Listen, I'm going to destroy everything if you don't come to me together. But what are you showing? Whether you're in power, whether you got influence, whether you're winning, you're losing, you're still wicked. You're still been sinning. So then when you get prideful and when you can't be told anything, this is how he's looking at you. Who are you? Who do you think you are? Read on.
They are not humble, even unto this day.
Wait. That means it's not just the past. Even to this day, we're not humble. To this day, you're at the bottom barrel of society, and we're still not humble. Which is why when I went to godly sorrow with repentance, godly sorrow lasts. Worldly sorrow equals death because it doesn't last. So we come in humble, and all of a sudden we get built up again, and we're not humble anymore. What was the Most I find out? It wasn't God.
They are not humble.
You were not sincere.
Even unto this day.
To this day, you're a liar. To this day, you've been faking the funk. And all it took was some circumstances to start working around your life. Couple of wins in life, couple of knowledge bars, couple of angles, couple of counsels, and all of a sudden, I can't be told anything anymore. This is what he was looking at. Read on.
It says, neither have they feared, nor walked in my law.
Because what does humility symbolize? Fear. I'm humble because I fear. Because most of us don't come in this because we just love God. We come in this because if we don't love God, we get jacked up in the world. If I don't humble down, I'm going to keep getting tagged. My life's going to keep falling apart. Just like in the wilderness, what did he do first before he taught us love? What was the Old Testament about? Statutes and judgments. Do this or die. Do this or your life falls apart. Do this or there's going to be war in your land. Do this or your wives will be taken. Or your children will be taken. I got to show you fear because love is not natural in us. Love is not natural in us. We don't just love and accept humility and accept change and being molded and remolded naturally. It's not in us. So it has to keep breaking us down for a long period of time before we finally accept this is what life's going to be about. And for some people, it takes a very long time. Which is why they have to keep losing and losing and losing. Keep reading.
It says, neither had they feared nor walked in my law, nor in my statutes that I set before you and before your fathers.
Yep.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the power of Israel, behold, I will set my face against you for evil.
He says, if we don't choose to keep that humble mentality, you're going to get a different response from the Most High. For those that know and understand the feel like like the Most High turned his back on you, you remember that. You know what that feels like. When your praise ain't getting heard no more, when life just keeps falling apart, things stop making sense, and you're trying to figure out what the source is. Then you start playing all. The beautiful thing is the Most High will show you what you've done. He'll give you clarity on why this is happening. You'll start playing old counsels that you ignored. You start playing events you had with brothers that turned sour and you were the one at fault, or sisters that turned sour and you're the one at fault. He'll give you at least that clarity. This is why, or this could be a reason why your life's falling apart. He'll give you that clarity. But what he's saying is, I'm going to turn my back on you, or I'm going to face you with evil.
Yeah, and when he said, I will set my face against you, it just makes me think of like what's going on right now, that Mike Tyson, Jake Paul.
Yeah.
The face off.
Now you're an adversary.
I guess you stepped on his toes, Mike Tyson.
No. He walked up like a monkey, bro.
Yeah.
He was he beat his chest and shit, and he was like,
I thought he stepped on his toes.
No, bro. He came like a monkey, bro.
How did Mike Tyson come? When they set their face against each other, it's not nothing.
He got
nice.
smacked quick. And look. That was a funny clip, too. But he smacked him quick. Because Tyson wasn't taller than that. I'm a 58-year-old man. He ain't going to sit here and roll like that. I was during the time of the segregation. I know what that shit was about. Yeah. That's how he was rolling. But
yeah,
the point remains, he turns us into an enemy. You don't want to be Christ's enemy when you're trying to get grace. You don't want to be enemy of God when you're trying to get grace. We got to remember the thought process, the humility, and the zeal we had when we first came in. Finish that up real quick.
It says, behold, I will set my face against you for evil, and to cut off all Judah.
Give me Philippians 2 and verse 7 through 8. And this is what the Christ is constantly looking at us for. When did that humility switch? When did you forget humility? When did you forget to learn how to bow down and to suffer wrongfully? When did you forget that when you first came in, you had a tender heart? And that you were willing to do whatever you had to do to get saved. And nothing else mattered. You didn't come in for ulterior motives. You didn't come in for a husband. You didn't come in for a wife. You didn't come in for riches. You didn't come in for cars, clothes, and houses. You came in for the Most High. You came in because you heard the scriptures or someone taught you, and you're like, man, this is powerful. I never heard this in my life before. This got to be the truth. Because nothing else made sense before. That was the love and humility that the Most High wants you to keep throughout this entire process. But give me that in verse Philippians 2 and verse 7.
Philippians 2 and 7.
Yeah, I got to get there myself. Read that.
But made himself of no reputation.
Who are we talking about here?
Right.
So Christ was the Son of God, had the power of legions behind him, could do what he wanted if he wished. And he did what?
But made himself of no reputation.
Meaning all that knowledge. Mind you, Christ had all the knowledge in the world. He was the creator of the world. He could have been the Einstein of his time. He could have been the guy known for being the wisest in the world and told the dark fables and told the mysterious about science and all that. He could have chose to be the famous guy. How do you have so much knowledge? You're way past, before your time or past your time. You're the AI of our generation. He could have been that person if he chose to, but he made himself what?
Of no reputation.
Yep.
And took upon him the form of a servant.
He made his life to take upon him the form of a servant. The creator of the universe said, I'm taking on the form of a servant. So why don't we say it in the form of a servant? A servant, I always talk about it, a servant doesn't have opinions. If you ever watch some old movies, them old royal movies and stuff like that, let me get you in a second. Some old royal movies, and they're in front of the king, they don't say look at nothing. That servant's job is to sit there and do whatever the king tells them to do. We're not kings. I'm not saying you got to be like that. But what is the mind of a servant? I have a job to do. My opinion, I don't have an opinion. My opinion is my master's opinion. My opinion is my Lord's opinion. Everything else does not matter. That was the mindset that Christ had. Didn't he say it? And I think it was John. I'm not going to go there. I think it was John 19 and verse 29. And he talks about how my mind is not my own. I speak what the Lord commands me to speak. So Christ didn't even have an opinion on when he was operating amongst people that he saw every day. I can only speak what the Most High told me to speak. I can only inform what the Most High told me to inform. I can only do and live what God told me to do and live like. And I got to suffer the way God told me to suffer. He prayed if he could avoid it. He did pray. He asked if he could avoid it. That cup could pass for him. But he said, if not, thy will be done. Whatever you want me to do, I'm going to do it. That's what it meant to be a servant. Read.
God. It says, but made himself of no reputation, took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men.
Because what he realizes, men are servants. And if I come in here as a man and act like a king, then everybody behind me is going to act the same way.
Right. And he even looked like everybody else. Why did Judas have to go up to him and kiss him? Because he looked like everybody else.
Yeah.
He would have been like, well, which one's Christ?
In the purple garment and being adorned and being decked out. No, look, he didn't just look like everybody else. He looked worse than everybody else. How about that? He was marred. He was not desirable. You read that in Isaiah, he was not desirable to look at. What you got up, Nagaha? What are you going to say?
Reputation also means opinion. The word itself also.
Oh, okay. Okay. Perfect. So, see, he didn't have any opinion. That's amazing. He had no opinion on himself. He had no opinion on his life. And he had no opinion about what was going on in his life. As he heard, he judged. If he heard wickedness, if he heard something that was contrary to the Most High's way of thinking, he judged then. Other than that, he had nothing to say. That was how he worked, and that's how he operated. And that was the example that he wanted all men to follow and pattern after. Meaning we can't come in here on our high horse and not be told what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to live. And can't be molded, and can't be morphed. Because that was an example that Christ gave us. Read on.
God, verse 8, and being found in fashion as a man.
As a man, your job is to be what? Read.
He humbled himself.
As a man, your job is to be what?
Humble.
Your job is to be humble as a man and woman. Because you got too many flaws to have an opinion. We don't have the luxury to have an opinion. We're not clean enough to have an opinion. We're not perfect. So why have an opinion? Why not be able to be moldable, be corrected, be changed, be morphed? Read on.
And became obedient unto death.
And there was nothing that was going to stop his obedience. The threat of loss and the threat of death wasn't going to stop his obedience. Christ's not even asking that from us right now. Can you just change? Because there's a lot of flaw and filth still in you. If you get corrected, can you believe that because it's coming from the scriptures, it's coming from the Lord? Can you see it's not personal? Can you see that I'm trying to change you for the better? I'm not out to get you. I want you to be prosperous. I want you to be saved. I want you to have protection. Why are you kicking against the pricks? Why are you rebelling? Who do you think you are? He's going to keep asking that question. Who do you think you are? Let that go. Give me, say in Philippians, give me chapter 3 and verse 3. Philippians 3 and verse 3 through 8.
I got you. Right there, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Philippians chapter 3, verse 3.
Yep.
For we are the circumcision, which worship the Most High in the Spirit.
We just read this Wednesday. We're in a circumcision, meaning we've allowed or we've accepted the fact I'm following God's laws. And I'm going to live after the Most High's way of thinking. And that's the mindset we're taking in the Spirit. This is what we're telling God. Read.
And rejoice in Yahushua.
Uh-huh.
And have no confidence in the flesh.
Meaning who I was before I let everything go, who I was before I started serving God, doesn't mean anything. My identity before Christ means nothing. Paul takes it a step further. Not only does it mean nothing, it is below nothing. It's dumb. It's worthless. We'll keep reading. Read.
God, verse 4. Though I might also have confidence in the flesh.
Because not everybody's the same. Not everybody was at the lowest point in their life before they came to the truth. Some of us had opportunities. Some of us had prospects of being whatever in the world. Some of us could have been six figures immediately in the world. Some of us may have already been six-figure earners. Some of us may have been successful, had the life desire they want to live, and they still let it all go.
And he was confident he was. He was a Hebrew of Hebrews, a tribe of Benjamin.
Yeah, he's going to it right now. He's going to it right now. But that's the point. He could have had confidence. He could have been flexing the flesh. He was that guy. He was him. Modern day terms. He was him. If you want to compare yourself, if you want to be some type of, if you want a role model in your life, that was going to be Paul. Read on.
Middle of 4. If any other man thinketh that he hath whereof he might trust in the flesh, I more.
What he's saying is, if you think you're doing something, I was doing more. If you think you was on top of the world, I was on top of you. That's what he was saying. Like we're not the same. That's what he's saying. But how was his mindset after he got Christ? Keep reading.
Now verse 5. Circumcised the 8th day.
I followed the law to the T. That means my parents were together, and they followed the law to the T. So now my legacy is still there. Everything's intact. I grew up how I was supposed to get grown up. I grew up with the law. I grew up taught what's right and wrong from the beginning. So I didn't have to make as many mistakes as if someone who didn't have the law from the beginning. Okay, read on.
Of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin.
Yep.
And Hebrew of the Hebrews.
I was a Hebrew of the Hebrew. I see that in brothers' Instagram posts, not Instagram, but Facebook profiles now. I'm a Hebrew of a Hebrew. Wow. So was Paul. He was a Hebrew of a Hebrew. He was that guy. He was him in the world. Read on. One second.
As touching the law, a Pharisee.
He is a Pharisee, meaning he was a master of the law. To get Pharisee status, you were above average, way above average. You were now a ruler of some sort. You now had authority. You were you had some power. You had power. You had status.
Like Thomas J. Henry, or he was up there.
He's like a mayor. You can contribute like a mayor, governor. You can make laws, or you enforce the laws. Exactly. Or you're the police chief. He was a police chief. I'm the guy that the mayor goes to me. What's going on with crime in the city? I'll clean up for you, mayor. I got you. He was the top dog in his particular realm. What you got, my one?
No, I was gonna say when it says that he of the tribe of it, he had records.
Yeah, which matters at that time.
That track.
Which means the Most High spared his family enough. Because mind you, if he had records, that means the Most High had spared his family for about 700 years. No, 800 years. This is the time of the Romans. 35 AD. That was the time of not Titus. What was the emperor at the time? It was after Caesar. It was after Augustus. It was the second. It was the third one. It was the third. Doesn't matter. Right. It was like 28 to 35 AD, which means we fell in 722. The northern tribe fell in 722. The southern tribe fell in 586. So he had about 600 years of records getting kept. So the Most High spared his records, his family, for 600 years. Most of us cannot say the same thing. That's why they were called Gentiles. That's what Wednesday was about. That's why they were called uncircumcised. Because you couldn't prove where your family was at and what land plot you had and who you came from 500 years ago. But the Most High spared his family, which is why he said he was a Hebrew of Hebrews. I know where I come from. I can identify. Yeah, we might not be in Jerusalem. We might be in Cyrus. But my family has their records, which means something. But white folks can trace back their family lineage all the way back to the kings and queens of England. That means something. We can't do that. Our generation goes 2 to 3 generations, if that. If we can get that. So what is it saying? I have legacy. I know who I come from. I've been developed. And not only that, I was at the top of my career. Read.
God, verse 6.
Yep.
Concerning zeal, persecuting the church, touching the righteousness which is in the law, blameless.
When it comes to my zeal, when it comes to my motivation, when it comes to my ability to follow the law, I was blameless. You couldn't fault me with anything. I did my job. Read.
Verse 7. But what things were gained to me, those counted loss. Excuse me.
Read it again.
Those I counted loss for Christ.
He says, for what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for Christ. For what I earned, for what I had, for who I was and who I could have been, it meant nothing for Christ. All of it was there as a bigger sacrifice to show the Most High I care about you. That's all it was. That everything I had, who I was just to show you I love God that much to give it all up. That was his mentality on it, which means I'm putting myself in a position of servitude, in a prideless lifestyle. Who am I? I'm nothing. I've given it all up anyway. Read.
9. Verse 8. Yea, doubtless, and I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge.
Meaning, I don't regret it. It says, yea, doubtless. I don't doubt my decisions. I don't regret giving it all up. There is no more upon it, man. What could I have been?
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Shoulda, woulda, man. If I was doing X, Y, and Z in 5 years, I would have been, the senior exec. I would have been the CEO, maybe. I would have been the top dog. I would have been skilled in this arena. I would have had this lifestyle. He wasn't doubtless. He gave it all up. He didn't care. It was worth nothing. What meant more was getting in the good grace of the Most High. Because he had a lot to prove. And he had a lot to pay for. The grace he wanted, he had a lot to give up to pay for that. Read on.
God, for the excellency of the knowledge of Yahushua, my Lord.
He said, I gave it all up for the excellency of the knowledge of the Most High. Because I value the knowledge of the Most High that much. This is a person who literally looks at the scriptures and the knowledge worth more than gold. And a lot of us haven't gotten to that point. If we were offered $1 million, $2 billion, you give the book in a heartbeat. If all I told you is you get $2 million to stop reading the Bible, unfortunately, a lot of Jews would take that deal. A lot of them would. We don't want to be those people. What you got?
I hate to say it, but need to have on their phone. Right?
Like I said, it all it takes is a lottery ticket. A lottery ticket or a come up, and we seen brothers leave for less. We seen brothers leave for the idea of something that wasn't going to happen. We seen brothers leave for $10,000. We seen brothers leave for a car. We seen brothers leave for a woman. It don't take much. For our people, we are not like, it don't take much, bro. We're easy. We're easy to be persuaded contrary. But what he's saying is, Paul was not that person. He got to the peak of his career and gave it all up and said, this is what I have to give to the Most High. And I don't regret that decision.
He didn't just ante up. He went all in.
Yeah, he went above and beyond. He did what nobody else was willing to do. That's even better. Nobody else was willing to go with these barbarians and these crazy guys over here that knew nothing about God. Knew nothing. I got to start from bare zero and force you to stop drinking blood and dealing with your moms. And stop being, LGBTQ. And stop serving false gods.
And he was hated. He was persecuting people. Like
everybody hated this guy.
It wasn't like he wasn't known.
He was loved. He was loved at first. And that love turned to hate quickly. He was loved. His clique, they loved him. He had a lot of friends. He had a lot of mentors. He had family. And he had to give all that up for what Christ was offering. The excellency of the knowledge of Yahushua. That's how he looked at it. It was the excellency. Read on.
God, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung.
But what?
Dung.
It's dung. It's excrement. It doesn't mean anything anyway. Read on.
That I may win Christ.
Because what was his mindset? It was that tender heart. I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get my acceptance from you, Lord. I'm going to offer whatever I have to offer you so I can win this acceptance. That was the mindset the Most High always wanted us to have. Whenever we were tenderhearted, he started listening to us again. When we lost that tenderhearted and we got stony-hearted again, our ears became uncircumcised again, our ability to change stopped happening, the prayers stopped getting answered. You're not getting you're not getting a friendly face anymore. You're getting an adversary. That's what he was saying. Where'd that go? Give me 2 Corinthians 12:5.
Just to hit the point of when he said, I suffered the loss. Suffered is permitted, allowed, not that, it was a bad thing.
That's important. Yeah.
And, I was moping around, I kind of feel.
I
allowed that to happen.
Which means I knew it was going to happen.
Right.
I knew, and I welcomed it. I know if I go and live this lifestyle, which means he did this. If I change my lifestyle, my perspective, and I change who I serve, not only am I going to be hated, I'm going to be killed. Because as fervent as I was in killing people who were serving God, I know that same spirit is coming right back to me. Because we was all thinking the same way. We was all killers. So I got to do it, potentially dying, getting kicked out of my city, losing my loved ones and my friends, losing my career, and might be on this road for the rest of my life. And it's not getting better outside of Jerusalem. Because they don't like me neither. Because they got their gods too. And if I go up in they synagogues and tell them your God is whack, they're going to want to kill me too. So wherever I'm going, I potentially could be hated. What you got?
Like on that same point when he said cut it off dumb, it's like weights of the human body.
Yeah.
He looked at it like it was something that was already meant to be.
It was meant to be, or it was meant to be offered.
That's the right.
Because how can someone who's winning in life win God's favor anyway? What did Christ say? When a certain man came to Christ, said, "How can I get to the kingdom?" He said, "Follow the commandments."
Exactly.
So I've already done that. I've already followed the commandments. I was born in the truth. I know the commandments. I know how to eat pork. Don't get tattoos. Don't smoke. Don't serve Christmas and Halloween. That's light work. He said, okay, then drop everything and follow me. Oh, hold on now.
You knew there was something else.
Hold on.
Stall me out.
You got too much dip in your chip? you asked for too much now. I got a lot of things now. He said, I got great things. And he went away sad. Because he was not willing to lose that.
Because he wasn't wasting.
Because he liked that.
Right.
He wanted his king and he too. I want salvation and I want my kingdom on earth. Paul said, hey, it was meant to be given up. It was meant to be lost. If I had things, it was meant to be lost. And that's the only way someone who was winning in the world can get the grace from the Most High. But let's get that 2 Corinthians 12 and verse 5. What's it called?
2 Corinthians chapter 12. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 5.
Yeah, let me get there really quick, brother. 2 Corinthians 12 and verse 5. Yep, give me that. 5 through 9.
2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 5.
I love this story. Read.
Of such an one will I glory.
So what he's saying is, I don't want to go through all the other scriptures above it, but what he's saying is, the one thing I allowed myself to glory in this work was the fact that I saw someone, and I couldn't tell if they're an angel or if they're a person, but their level of dedication and works was so great, it was inspiring. I'm going to wait till that goes by. I don't know what that was.
Romans 7:21.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Read it again.
2 Corinthians 12 and 5.
They didn't like that.
That was a shofar.
Read that.
Of such an one will I glory. Yet of myself I will not glory.
He said, I will only glory in the best examples I saw in this truth. Because Christ did me a favor and saw me what I could do and who I could be. That's what I'm going to glory in. But of myself, I'm not going to glory. It don't matter who I am. I'm nobody. Read.
Yet of myself I will not glory, but in mine infirmity.
So what did he glory in?
Sufferings for Christ.
My sufferings and my loss for Christ, I'm going to glory in those. This is what I gave. This is what I offered for the Most High's acceptance. This is what I gave him to win back his favor. That's what we should be glorying in. Which means I'm never going to be prideful. I can't be prideful if I'm always seeking the favor of the Most High. I'm always offering something to the Most High. I'm always going to be humble. Because I'm always being humble. I'm always being humble. I'm always losing something. If I'm striving for virtues, I'm losing something. If I want to learn a new skill, I'm losing time in my family. If I want to be a better counselor, I'm losing time in my life. My free time.
Voluntarily.
Well, I give it up. Here you go. I want your acceptance. I've done a lot of dirt in my life. Yeah. I need your acceptance.
Not getting voluntold.
Yeah, exactly. Meaning, all that you've gained in your life was just to be given up. Just so the Most High how much I actually want to win your favor. The family, the lifestyle, the freedom, the luxury. Give it up. That's why brothers when they get cars, they're surprised I'm putting miles on my car. Man, I put 100,000 miles in 2 years.
Man, that's wild.
It's for God. Those are real numbers. I'm going through 150 in 3-4 years. You get another vehicle in 3-4 years. Damn. Excuse my French, but that's a real lifestyle. Was a vehicle for Christ and His work, or was it a vehicle for you? Why are you getting upset about it? When your car is breaking down, what was the problem? That was for God. Your entire life is for God. What you had was all for offering. Why is there pride now? That's not godly sorrow. That's not actual repentance. Paul said, anything I got to offer, that's what I'm a glory in. Read on.
Verse 6. But though I would desire to glory.
Although I would like to glory. Although I'm good at things. I'm smart too. I got knowledge too. I was a winner too. I was a leader too. I was a war general too. I was a killer too. I know everything. Paul said he was a Hebrew to Hebrews. Although I would like to glory, read up.
But though I would desire to glory, I shall not be a fool.
He said, I'm not going to be a fool. Because a fool glories in what they want. We're going to find out later why. Because in the world, whatever you learn, whatever you accumulate, doesn't mean anything from the Most High. It's all foolishness before God. The wisdom in the world is foolishness before the Most High. So I'm not going to be the fool that's going to count on my past experiences on how things should operate in the truth. How relationships should operate. That's what Paul was saying. Read on.
I shall not be a fool, for I will say the truth. But now I forbear, lest any man should think of me above that which he seeth me to be.
I'm not even going to boast and tell you my accomplishments in front of you, because I don't want you to think I'm better than who I am. You don't even need to know that side of me. You don't even know the wins I had. Because the more I talk about myself, you might start idolizing me. I don't want that. I'm nobody.
That means he wasn't like talking about shipwrecks or him being stoned to death.
Only the select camps. Like for instance, he'll send a letter to Corinthians. I know I said I'll be here next month, but I got in a shipwreck, and then they started stoning me. So that's why I couldn't show up. He wasn't telling them that because he wanted to flex. Oh, I got in a shipwreck, and I survived, and God was with me. God was with me. So I'm in the spirit, y'all. Y'all gotta follow me. No, he said, look, that's why I've delayed my trip. But I want to see y'all. I just can't because of circumstances. But he wasn't the whole world didn't know his business. Hey, look, I know I'm going through what I'm going through, and I'm a glory in that. But that's between me and the Most High. That's it. Y'all only know all this because I don't want you to see him look at me like I'm something special. I'm not. Read on.
But now I forbear, lest any man should think of me above that which he seeth me to be, or that he heareth of me.
Because I don't want these war stories being heard about me. Look at what Paul went through. They were already fighting over Paul anyway. My teacher's Paul. My teacher's Apollo. Well, my teacher got more sacrifice than your teacher. So I don't want that conversation up here. I don't want y'all talking about me in that way. Just say, I'm a servant, you're a servant, we're all servants. Isn't what Kyle always talks about? Don't call me elder. I'm a brother. Don't call me your elder. I'm your brother. Now the war is the same thing. I'm a brother.
Not even sir.
I'm your brother. Don't call me Mr. Priest, Mr. Top Guy, Boss Man, General. King. I'm King. Oh yeah, no, don't do that. Kyle will blow you up if you call him a king. He will be like, nah, bro, never that.
He will drop.
A war was not having that either. There ain't no king over here, bro. We are servants. We are servants that have different occupations. And that's how we always been drilled the men. You are a servant, through and through. Because Christ said the grace among you is what?
Servant.
No, he said the greatest what?
Servant.
The grace among you is the greatest servant. So yeah, I'm the better servant. That's it. I serve more. I lose more. That means the higher you get, you've lost more. You offered more.
But you can't say that aloud. Like
I'm not gonna brag about it, but
yeah, keep it down.
You understand, if they were up there, they lost more for this. That's what justified their position. But this is the mindset that Paul had. Read on.
Verse 7. And lest I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations.
Look at this. Paul was getting prophecies. He was talking to Christ. You don't think that could have boosted his status in the community? The apostles were running the church because they got taught by Christ. They were the top dogs in Jerusalem. You don't think he would have been the top dog as well? Because he's actually speaking to Christ face to face? He said, but if I tell you about these, he said, because I had these revelations, and because it could boost my pride up. Read on.
There was given to me a thorn in the flesh.
Now I got physical health ailments. Now I'm also going to start stinging my physical body just so I remember who I am and my place. No matter what you know and what you think you are, you can be humbled at any time. And he will humble you just so you don't get prideful. Just to protect your purity as a servant. Read on.
The messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure.
He's saying, the Most High allowed the messenger of Satan to sting me so that I cannot be exalted above measure. So that I remember who I am. Remember, I have a task to do. And I am trying to win back a debt and pay back a debt. How do we know that? Keep reading.
Verse 8. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice.
A lot of us, when we're going through affliction, we'll pray the Most High to get out of that affliction. That's fine. But listen to what Christ told him when Paul saw him 3 times to get rid of this affliction. Whatever that thorn in the flesh might have been, obviously it was bothering him. Obviously, this might have been stopping him from doing more than what he wanted to do. He said, please take this ailment off me, Lord. Read on.
For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee.
This is the fact that I'm still working with you is all you should be thankful for. The fact that I haven't cast you away and forgotten about you and said you can go back in the world and get beat up and die and stay dead, because he did die. You can go die and stay dead is enough. Why are you asking for more? Why do we ask for more? Because we got what? Because we think we deserve more. We think we deserve more. Paul said, after all the great works that I could be proud about, that I could boast about, and all I ask the Most High is to take away this infirmity that's probably stopped me from doing more great works. Christ told him, you should just be happy that you're here. You should be thankful that you have the knowledge of me. And can you accept that? Can we accept that? If our hopes and dreams in this truth don't pan out, if we don't get the spouse we want, if we don't get the lifestyle we want, if we don't get the reality that we thought we were going to have in the truth, can we just be happy that we were here? And we got the knowledge? We say yeah, but a lot of us ain't happy about that. And a lot of us haven't been happy, and they won't be happy. Because that godly sorrow wasn't sincere. And those circumstances had to happen to see how sincere you truly are. Paul got put to the test. And what did he say in response? Read.
And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness.
He says, if you want to be stronger than me, you got to be more weak. You got to give more up. You got to lose more. Which means the weaker you are in the flesh, the stronger you are in Christ. The weaker your feelings are, the less you get, the stronger you are in me. That's his response to him. Read on.
Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities.
Paul said that I'm just going to glory in these infirmities then. You know what, Christ, you were right. I'm tripping. I am thankful for this being here. This is what I can offer you anyway. This is how I win back your favor. Read on. You're good.
Therefore will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me.
Yep. Read on.
Verse 10. Therefore I take pleasure in infirmities.
He takes pleasure in what?
In infirmities.
In losses. Do we take pleasure in losses? No, we do not. We get mad. Why do we get mad when we lose? Because we don't think we should have lost. Why do we get mad when things start falling apart? We don't think that should happen to us. Paul was doing everything right. Mind you, he was doing everything right at this point. He served God again. He gave his life up for Christ. He lost. He was getting in shipwrecks. He was getting beat to near death. He was stoned to death. He was following orders, teaching, and he was still getting stung in the flesh. Most people would have broke by then. Most people would have quit. What's the point of my service? If all's going to happen, I'm still losing. I thought when I came in the truth, I was going to win. I thought when I came in the truth, affliction was going to stop. That's what I believe. Paul said, I came in the truth, got stung, asked to stop being stung, and God said, deal with it. That's what you get. That's what you deserve anyway. Whatever you got in your life is what you deserve for what you've done. And the fact that I'm still teaching you and still working with you should be enough. Because you said, and your desire was, just get back in my good graces. That's what you came here for, right? Just to get acceptance, right? You wanted the kingdom, right? That's what you said. That's what your actions show. I have the memory of your first zeal. I have the memory of your first works. I didn't forget. You might have, but I have not forgotten. I remember when you were humble. I remember when you beseeched me in tears. When you were crying in the closet. When you were crying in your room asking for a sign. Asking for help. Begging the Lord for some type of pathway to open up. Begging him for some type of instruction. I remember all that. You forgot it. Because you want more. Paul said, I'm going to glory in my infirmities. Read.
Therefore I take pleasure in infirmities.
I'm going to have pleasure in the infirmities. Now I know the more I lose, the closer I get. Read.
In reproaches.
In reproaches. People hating me. People not believing in what I believe in. Clouding my outfit. Clouding my fit. Clouding my morals. Clouding my perspective. Clouding my belief system. Losing close family. You with them people now. You're serving God now. You don't want to do that. That's the worst decision you can make in your life.
When's the last time you shaved?
Yeah. When was the last time you shaved? When you take care of yourself? Why don't you do something for you one time?
Oh, sister, you haven't got a pedicure? How long?
Look, those are the worst. I've come across those guys before. You don't want to talk to them. Yeah. You'll lose your life. You're going to lose your will, your control.
Why
you don't want to do that.
Why covering your body so much?
And that's
Why's
the
your
point.
head covered?
That's the point. It's always going to be that. That's never going to stop. In reproaches, I take pleasure. Meaning, when we get those reproaches, am I smiling? Like last week, like Wednesday, there was guys clowning on the internet. They said some garbage. I'm not going to repeat it. I was laughing. I was smiling, man. You don't get it, but it's okay. Because if I wasn't hated, if I wasn't clowned on, then I wouldn't be doing the right thing. I know I wouldn't be in Christ. If the world loved me, then I know I wouldn't be in Christ. Because how can you love me and I'm serving Christ and they hated Christ? It wouldn't make any sense. So keep reading.
In reproaches, in necessities, in persecution.
Meaning, I am lacking. I take pleasure in the fact that I don't get my necessities. Not once. I'm not getting my basic necessities. And I take pleasure in that. Read.
In persecutions, in distresses for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then am I strong.
Because I've accepted, if I'm being Christ, I'm going to be weak. I'm going to stay in a low state. And I'm okay with that. Why? Because I have a tender heart. Give me that 2 Kings 22:19 one more time.
And you don't really know how strong you are until you reach this point and you can persevere. You can go through it.
Exactly. But you wouldn't know that unless you made yourself vulnerable. Vulnerable to be weak. Vulnerable to lose. To not have. Give me that definition of tender again, Karai. Give me that definition of tender again. Look it up. Give me that verse real quick.
God, 2 Kings 22:19. Because thine heart was tender, and thou hast humbled thyself before the Lord, when thou heardest what I spake against this place, and against the inhabitants thereof, that they should become a desolation and a curse, and hast rent thy clothes and wept before me. I have also heard thee, saith the Lord.
Because you were tender-hearted. Tender again?
Tender. 1828, Webster's Dictionary. It says, any offer for acceptance.
Because you were tender-hearted, meaning you are open to any offer, any advice to give to the Most High, get that acceptance, I'm going to listen to you. Yes, scribe. What you got?
Point number 5, too. Just on that point. Mm-hmm. It says, regard, kind concern.
Yeah. I have regard. I have regard, and now I'm motivated to make a change. And my heart is now motivated to make a change. Paul was so motivated, there was nothing that was going to stop him from serving him more. And the losses he counted as a gain, as an opportunity, as a real offer. Like back in the day when we had to kill offerings and give it to the Most High, my offering now is how much I lose for Christ's sake. I am that living sacrifice. That's what Romans 12:1 says, right? We are those sheep. We are those lambs. We are those bulls for the sin offering. I got to keep losing more just so I stay in the Most High's good grace. That's what he's saying. Let that go. Give me Ecclesiastes 17 and verse 32. Bro, I might even have 3 pages, bro. I'm going to go temper right here.
I'll get it afterwards. You said 17?
Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha 17 and verse 32.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 17 and verse 32. He vieweth the power of the height of heaven, and all men are but earth and ashes.
Hold on, read that last part again.
And all men
are what?
Are but earth and ashes.
So how does the God look at mankind? We're just earth and ashes that are meant to serve. Do you not say I can make rocks serve me? Mm-hmm. Y'all are just earth and ashes. You're not that special. We're not special. So your job is just to serve me. So then the question will be, why does earth and ashes have a perspective? Give me that in Ecclesiastes 10 and verse 17. Or verse 9, actually. Ecclesiastes 10 in the Apocrypha 10 and verse 9. Now we know we're earth and ashes. All right, read.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 9. Why is earth and ashes proud?
Who's proud?
Earth and ashes.
Why is earth and ashes proud? Why do we got an opinion? What is earth and ashes? We're just dirt. We're dirt that needs to serve. We're earth. We're minerals. We're made up with like what 70 minerals?
Carbon, phosphorus.
Okay, less minerals than 70. A lot of minerals. What is earth minerals? You can find it in the dirt. You pick up dirt, you find the same mineral content and makeup in the ground. You pick it up. The exact same makeup. Our job is to serve. So why is dirt and ashes, earth and ashes, proud and got an opinion? That's what he wants to know. That's the age-old question. Let that go. Give me say in the same chapter. Give me verse 12. We don't say it, we don't read the whole thing pretty much, all the way up to like 27. But we're gonna break it down. So give me verse 12 now.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High.
Because who was earth and ash to have pride in the first place? Yeah, now I'm separating myself from you. Who are you to have an opinion? Your job is to serve. I don't care what you've learned. I don't care how confident you become. I don't care how stable you become. I don't care that you're not feeling yourself. If you can't take correction and take redirection, I don't have any doings with you. Why is earth and ashes pride? When you got pride, I'm separating myself from you. Read on.
Right. The beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High, and his heart is turned away from his Maker.
Because now you've lost your first love. If I got pride, I'm telling the Most High, I don't fear you anymore. I'm not sincere about this anymore. That's what he's looking at you like. Read on.
Right. Verse 13. For pride is the beginning of sin.
This is what Amiati was talking about. Had pride, doesn't time Adam. Adam had pride. Adam said, you know what? I know Lord told me don't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Can't be that bad. My wife says it's not that bad, so it can't be that bad. I'm going to do it. That was pride. The beginning of sin started with pride. How about that? It started with an opinion. Because servants shouldn't have an opinion. Servants follow orders. When servants have an opinion, they get their head chopped off. When servants have an opinion, in the Old Testament, you get burned. You get destroyed. Your life falls apart. You get cursed. Why is earth and ashes proud? Why do we have opinions? What is fueling those opinions? Those thought processes. Read on.
For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that have it shall pour out abomination.
Because if you got pride on the smallest things, you're not far away from making more abominations happen. If you can consciously have pride and not be told anything, your path out the truth is very close. Very close. Read on.
Right. It says, and therefore the Most High brought upon them strange calamities.
These are getting them strange curses. Them strange ailments start happening. I got this strange disease that this 1 in a million chance of getting this disease. I start getting struck by lightning. I start having these weird car functions are happening. Cars start shaking for no reason. Doesn't want to start today. Bad things start happening. You heard about Bank of America. It was a couple months ago. And a lot of people woke up with their accounts wiped. Like, I guess someone hacked Bank of America and wiped out, like, I don't know how many accounts got wiped, but people just woke up with no money in the account. And they couldn't refurbish it. They couldn't reimburse it because they didn't know who hacked it. That's a strange calamity right there. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't trust Bank of America anyway. They're known for that.
I mean, they had no records. You can't get those transaction records.
You ain't getting all that is gone.
It's gone. So there wasn't just a bank account of records of that.
Yeah. Everything's gone. Strange calamities. Happens in the truth all the time. But it's out of order. He got pride. Next day, he's sick. Strange calamity. But it's out of pride. There's that pride. They out of order. They get COVID more than anybody else. Strange calamity. It's not. It doesn't happen just by chance. We know. We all know. We don't say it. We know.
Like, the brother looks skinny today.
His
face looks.
He got sick. I wonder why he got sick. Oh man, he had pride today. He was going to war. It happens for years. My personal experience, that happened all the time. But at the height of their pride, I was talking about a story for me. I was at the height of my pride one day. I was already upset, right? Daria brought this brother in, teaches about health. I wasn't buying this guy. I'm not gonna call his name out, but I wasn't buying this health stuff. He was jockeying like this, man. He was sickly, bro. He walked in, he looked sick. His shirt was yellow. Look, I wasn't buying. He had sniffles. This time when COVID was at its height, right? And the new variant came out. It was the Delta variant, I think. It was the second one. I'm in the front row, bro. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give my mind to this guy. If Dalia brought him in, I'm going to take him serious. And he dropped some good information. I'm right taking notes out. I go to the house out. I'm inspired. I'm zealed up. I'm like, man, we're going to change the diet. We're going to get on this coconut oil. I was really on this coconut oil. Like, man, we get all the grapeseed oils, all the BS. You can't cook olive oil. So at a certain temperature, it becomes hazardous, poisonous, right? Mm-hmm. So I just learned that. I didn't know that. He told me, like, you know what? I'm getting coconut oil. So I go to the store. I get this big old thing of coconut oil. It's like, I don't know, bro. He lasted me for 2 months. The big old jar. It's like $20. Like,
fat jar, yeah.
The fat jar. I come in the house. I said, we changed our diet to coconut oil. Maria was like, no. Brother, I blew up. I said, yes, we are. I said, you never want to change. You always took your own way. I was going crazy. I was some coconut oil. I'm like, you want to get sick. Why you want to get sick? I got all this information. You gotta get the green minerals, the red minerals, the yellow minerals. You have a variety of diet with coconut oil. It's like, I don't like the taste of it. I didn't accept that answer. So I went to sleep hot. I was vexed out, and I woke up. Before I got to wake up, I was cold. I was in bed on myself. I closed the door. I didn't lock it, but I closed the door. I want to talk to you right now. Close the door. I'm pouting out. I go to sleep. I wake up shivering. And I'm like, my body feels weak. What is the problem here? Then I'm mad at my rib. Why is she coming to check on me? She knows I'm sick. I've been here for a couple hours. I went to lay down at 4 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock. I'm still not out yet. Why is she checking on me? Brother, I got COVID. I didn't realize. So she comes in the room. She's like, hey, I just want to apologize. I didn't want to get that. Now I feel even worse. I'm sorry too. I'm shivering. She sees I'm shivering. She's like, you're burning up. My temperature is 104. I'm burning up. And I'm just like, I fall out the bed out. I can't get out the bed out. I can't get off the floor out. And all I think about is, man, my sickness came because I was prideful. I said, I really started to warm my house over some coconut oil. Are you serious? That was 2 years ago. But still, bro, coconut oil, that's all it took? It gave me all 10? I got up 10, I got sick, bro. And I couldn't even move for 2 days straight. I'm like, man, it wasn't worth it. What's that show me real quick? You do not want to operate in this spirit, bro. That's not going to work for you. But that's the strange calamity you start seeing. I never seen someone get hit that quick on a sickness, bro. I was cool all day long. I was cool. I have no symptoms for nothing. I was asymptomatic. The second I had pride, it was all go. All sickness. What am I saying? Why do we got pride? You got pride, I'm going to hit you with a strange calamity to show you I don't want you to have this spirit on you. Keep reading.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 13. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that have it shall pour out abomination. And therefore, the Most High brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly.
Meaning, this is the history the Most High has always shown us. Don't have pride, because then I'm going to have to jack you up. Yeah. It's not complicated. It's not deep. People just think, oh, men are just talking smack. When they say, if you don't humble down, Most High going to jack you up. He's going to curse you. Oh, you always against me. You're always negative. You wish the worst for me. No, that's not the case. We know the fear of the Most High, which is why we do what? We persuade men. We persuade men, because if we do not, now we're accountable. If I don't tell you, you're going to get jacked up for having this pride, and you get hit, I'm getting hit too. Because my job is to warn you. It's to be a watchman. It's to let you know, hey, bro, this is not good for your spirit. Because pride was not made for man. Keep reading.
Okay. Verse 14. The Most High had cast down the thrones of proud princes.
I mean, the Most High is not discriminate. I don't care if you're a royal. Read on.
And set up the meek in their stead.
If you're a proud royal, I'll take your kingdom down and set someone up who deserves to be up there. I'm not discriminating. I don't care what your bloodline is. Read.
Okay. The Lord had plucked up the roots of the proud nations and planted the lowly in their place.
First off, that's also a prophecy. Because we are a lowly nation. How's it going to look when the Most High takes us from our low condition and puts us on top of the world? Because I don't care if you're a nation. If you're a prideful nation that can't be told nothing, I'm going to take your kingdom down and put someone that's better in your place. Because they're more meek than you. What you got?
Now think about how much more upset and how disappointing that'll be seeing that.
Oh, yeah.
At one point, you got this authority and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
it comes crashing down.
Now it's being translated.
Yeah,
to
bro.
Somebody else. Like, think about the extreme anger that comes with it.
The nations can't fathom that ever happened. If you talk to the average American, they couldn't fathom the United States losing a war ever. The average American, not the one that's actually studied and reads books and knows history. The average American, they don't even think they lost any wars. They don't think they lost anything. They don't think they lost Afghanistan. They don't think they lost Iran. We don't believe. We think we came out on top of that. We took our troops home. Vietnam.
We never lost at home.
That's what that was. Look, I remember when I was in school. It wasn't that we lost in Vietnam. It was that we wanted to give our attention to other things. That's how they pictured it to us in our textbooks. It's like, it wasn't that we lost. It was more we just stopped fighting them. We stopped fighting.
Picking, man.
Of course. No, they're not saying they lost the war. That's not patriotism. Nah, bro, we always win. That's what people think. That's what the nation thinks. The nation thinks they can't fall. But says, I don't care if you're a nation or an elevated person, I will replace you. Read on.
God. The Most High overthrew countries of the heathen and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth.
Yep.
He took some of them away and destroyed them and then made their memorial to cease from the earth.
Meaning it wouldn't take much, Sloan brother. It wouldn't take much to erase your existence, to erase your kingdom, to erase your belief system, your family line. It wouldn't take much. That's how serious Most High is with this pride. Read on.
Pride was not made for men.
Pride was not what?
Pride was not made for men.
Pride was not made for men. Read.
No furious anger for them that are born of a woman.
Because what makes someone even angrier and stronger in their pride is their ability and what they were good at and what they know. That's what fuels the intensity of their pride, the intensity of their stubbornness, their opinion. The more I know, the harder it is for me to be humble. The harder it is for me to change. The better I was something, the less likely I want to change something else. That's what he's saying. It's fueled. Read on.
God. They that fear the Most High are sure seed, and they that love him an honorable plant. They that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed.
Yep.
They that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed. Among brethren, he that is chief is honorable.
He's among brethren. So among a congregation, the person that's the top is respected, is honored, should be counted worthy. Read on.
So are they that fear the Most High in his eyes.
But so is them who among the people, they're humble. Because to have fear, I stay in a state of humility. I stay in a state of, I know my place. I know who I am. I know what I'm supposed to be doing here. I know what I'm calling earth to be. Among the people, if you stay humble, you'll be honorable. You'll be respected in the eyes of the Lord. Read on.
God. It says, the fear of the Most High goeth before the obtaining of authority.
Before you get authority, before you get respect, before you get power, before you get blessings, you have to have the fear of the Most High. And that will keep you humble. That will keep you honest. And keep your perspective of who you are, who you think you are, in a more humble state. Read on.
God. But roughness and pride.
But roughness, which is strong opinion, that leads to violence. Because some people, when they're strong in their opinion, what do they want to do? They want to fight. They want to argue. They want to get angry. Roughness and pride does what?
It says, but roughness and pride is the losing thereof.
Is the losing of authority, respect, and love from the Most High. You lose all of that quickly. Because he can't work with someone who can't be moldable. He can't work with someone who's quick to anger, quick to wrath, because of their strong opinions. That person is not workable. Read on.
Right. It says, whether he be rich, noble, or poor, their glory is the fear of the Most High.
Their glory, our glory, doesn't matter what status you are and where you came from, is the fact that I fear the Most High, which keeps me in alignment with him. Keeps my thoughts in alignment with him. Read on.
Right. It says, it is not meet to despise the poor man that have understanding, is it convenient to magnify a sinful man?
Yep, read on.
Great men and judges and pontiffs shall be honored.
Why?
Yet is there none of them greater.
None of them are greater than all those greats. Than who?
Than he that feareth the Most High.
Because fear is synonymous with humility. Fear is synonymous with staying in alignment, regardless of circumstance, regardless of loss, regardless of what you've gained. Read on.
Right. It says, unto the servant that is wise shall they that are free to do service.
We got to break that part down. Free by definition means ready and eager. Now give me John 8 and verse 31 to 32. Hold that. Don't lose that. We got to break this down. Unto the servant that is wise shall they that are free do service.
You said 8 and 30?
31.
31? Okay.
John 8 and 31.
Let me know when you're ready.
Give me that.
St. John chapter 8 and verse 31 reads, Then said Yahushua to those Jews which believed on him, If ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed?
Christ said, if you continue in my word, you will be my disciple indeed. If you continue to do what I'm teaching you, you'll be my student. Read.
Verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
The truth makes you free. The fact that you're obedient makes you free. So, now we get the understanding, who are those free people he's talking about? Go back to that Ecclesiastes 10 and verse 25.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 25. Unto the servant that is wise shall they that are free do service.
That's why we as disciples service one another. Because my job as a disciple is to be the chief servant. Is to follow the steps of Christ. Therefore, I'm going to serve a man. Therefore, I'm going to be under authority. Therefore, I can't have my own opinion. Therefore, I'm under strict restrictions. Therefore, I have to ask and call before I do and say. Just like women do it, men do the same thing. We're all under somebody. Am I correct in that? You can't just roll and think how you want to think. This is them that are free in Christ, them that are disciples of Christ, operate in this manner. Read on.
It says, and he that have knowledge will not grudge when he is reformed.
Why is he that has knowledge won't grudge or resist when he's reformed? Hold this. Give me Isaiah 45 verse 9 through 13. Isaiah 45 verse 9 through 13.
Come. Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 9 reads, Woe unto him that striveth with his maker.
What we don't realize is when we're grudging and we refuse to be changed or conformed or advised or counseled, we strive against our maker. Read on.
Woe unto him that striveth with his maker.
Yep.
Let the potsherd strive with the potsherds of the earth.
We gotta get the definition of potsherd. Because what does that mean? Give me a definition of potsherd really quickly.
Potsherd, 1828, Webster's Dictionary. A piece or fragment of a broken pot.
So what he's saying is, if you have pride, first off, why do you have pride and you're just a piece or a broken vessel? You're a broken vessel and have pride. So instead of fighting against me, go fight with the other pride people out in the world again. Let the potsherd strive with the potsherds of the earth. If you got an opinion, go back in the world and have that opinion and see how it works for you. Go argue with them Jake dudes in the world and see guns get pulled out.
Yeah, you can't reason with them.
See hair get pulled. Cussed out, embarrassed. Go do that. But you're not going to come in this environment when I'm trying to morph you into the person, the spiritual man and woman you need to be and have an opinion. Because you're still broken. He calls a broken vessel. Which means if I'm a broken vessel and I can't keep myself stable, then why am I having pride when I'm trying to be instructed on how to put myself back together? Read on.
Come. It also shows that everything that we, as far as in our life, is broken too.
I know. Your relationship was broken. Nothing worked in the world. Your relationships didn't work. Your friendships didn't work. Your jobs didn't work. Your career paths didn't work. Your life was going downhill. But you got pride still. You can't be told you forgot your first love. Read on.
Let the potsherd strive with the potsherds of the earth.
Yep. Let the broken folks fight with the broken folks. Because you don't want to get changed, you want to get healed, then go back and fight with them. That's going to be an endless and pointless battle. You're going to get nothing accomplished. Because you want to fight with pride? You want to see how foolish pride is? You go out in the world and nothing's going to get settled. All that can happen is fury, which leads to injury, which leads to jail time, which leads to guns, which leads to violence. And all that happens with pride. Because no one will take the load. Read on.
Come. Shall the clay say to him that fashioneth it, what makest thou?
Shall we as clay, as dirt and ashes, tell the Lord, why are you morphing me into the way you're morphing me? Why are you telling me I need to change? We're dirt and ashes. We were created. Who are we to have an opinion? He keeps saying the same thing in different words. Who are we to have an opinion? Read on.
Or thy work? He have no hands?
Meaning, what you're doing right now is like it's not perfect. The path you're taking me is not perfect. Why does the creation have an opinion on how he's being created? That's what Isaiah is asking. Read on.
Verse 10. Woe unto him that saith unto his father, what begettest thou? Or to the woman, what hast thou brought forth?
It's a destruction to the person that tells their father and mother, who did you create? It's the same spirit. You don't have an opinion. You don't get an opinion on how you were morphed, how you developed. That's not your place. Read on.
Verse 11. Thus saith the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, and his Maker, asked me of things to come concerning my sons, and concerning the work of my hands, command ye me. I have made the earth, and created man upon it. I, even my hands, have stretched out the heavens, and all their hosts have I commanded. I have raised him up, and up, in righteousness.
Yep.
And I will direct all his ways.
What he's saying is, I have all the power in the world. I will raise you up in righteousness, and I will direct your ways. Just like I direct the wicked's ways. I direct everybody's ways. I control it all. So while you're upset of the person that's put in your life, that makes you feel uncomfortable, while you're upset at the circumstances you have to go through, that makes you feel uncomfortable, that you think is persecution, or you think is suffering, or that much loss, I'm dictating all of it. So you have an opinion on it. You have an opinion against me. He despises not man, but who?
The Most High.
Which means if I despise my circumstance, I also despise the Most High. Because he's directly in contact with everything. He's directly causing all the good and the bad in my life to happen. Read on.
Come, I have raised him up in righteousness, and I will direct all his ways. He shall build my city, and he shall let go my captives, not for price nor reward, saith the Lord of hosts.
Let that go. Give me Ecclesiastes 10 and 25 again. Let's go back to it.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 25. It says, unto the servant that is wise shall they that are free to do service, and he that have knowledge will not grudge when he is reformed.
Why? Because he's on borrowed grace. Because he doesn't deserve what he's got. Actually, I think I missed the verse. Give me Ezra 9 and 13. I didn't pull it. I skipped it. Give me Ezra 9 and 13.
In the Bible, right?
Yep. Ezra 9 and 13. The reason why a man of knowledge isn't going to grudge when he's reformed is he knows he's on borrowed grace. Give me that Ezra 9 and 13 really quickly.
Ezra chapter 9 and verse 13 reads, and after all that is come upon us for our evil deeds.
After all the suffering that we've had to go through, that our families had to go through, that we've experienced or seen. Read.
And for our great trespass, seeing that thou, our power, has punished us less than our iniquity.
So have we got punishments that we should have received? Or we deserve to receive for our actions? Read it again.
Come. And after all that is come upon us for our evil deeds, and for our great trespass, seeing that thou, our power, has punished us less than our iniquities deserve.
So the man that has knowledge isn't going to have pride because he understands I'm getting hit harder or getting hit less or getting punished less than what I actually deserve, or my actions have actually deserved, that I've done in the past, or I'm doing in the truth now.
I got grace right here in the Zonderman. It says, of kindness bestowed upon someone undeserving thereof.
Exactly.
Hence, undeserved favor, especially that kind or degree of favor bestowed upon sinners.
Because we didn't get sin, or we didn't get grace before we stopped sinning. That's the crazy part. Man, what is going on with this computer? Slack to those that are watching online. El Diablo wanted to show his face again. He was cool Wednesday. But he don't like this topic. So the computer keeps going out. Okay, we're back. I don't know how long it's going to last, but read it again. All right, actually, let that go. So we're back in 25. Oh, we're back in 26.
All right. Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 26. Be not overwise in doing thy business.
Because what fuels our pride? Read it again from the top.
Be not overwise in doing thy business.
When we're overwise, when we think we have some knowledge on how the truth should run, how our relationship should run, what should be right, what should be wrong, Most High says you're always slipping.
Complacent.
No, it's not complacency.
No.
It's pride. Because if I'm overwise in my business, I'm overthinking everything. The smart guys suffer in the truth. Why do the smart guys suffer in the truth? Because they're smart. Because Ish worked in the world. Because my thought process worked in the world. I was savvy in the world. I got away with certain things in the world. My plans worked out in the world. The smart guys, the overthinkers, take a longer time to adjust in the truth.
So it's not overwise like, I know what I'm doing?
No, it is. I know what I'm doing, so I can't be redirected.
Right.
Because I know what I'm doing, when I'm getting told something different, I don't see the wisdom in that. Because in my rationality, that's foolish. And how I process information, that doesn't make any sense. We're going to prove it. Give me 1 Corinthians 3 and 18. Hold that cry. No, let it go for a while. We'll come back later. We have a whole lot of Corinthians to go through.
3 and 18, right?
Yes, sir.
1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18 reads,
Yep. Give me that.
Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise.
Meaning your common sense is not needed. Your hood smarts is not needed. Your street smarts is not needed. Whatever made you strong in the world, we don't need that. We need servants. Christ needs servants. He needs people that are willing to humble down and give their life up for a greater cause than themselves. That's what he's looking for. He's not looking for the advantage. He's not looking for your skill, your ability, what you could bring to the table. That doesn't matter. All that's going to do is stop you from making changes faster. Read on.
Verse 19. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High.
It says the wisdom of this world, what you thought was wisdom, what you thought was smart, the degrees, the doctrines, what you thought was something to flex about and glory about in the world, it's foolishness with God. He doesn't look at it with very high esteem. Read on. What you got? You trying to find something?
Yeah, I'll give it to you later.
Okay. All right.
For it is written, He taketh the wise in their own craftiness.
He says he taketh the wise, meaning he will show the wise man that your way doesn't work. He'll show that although your way might make more rational sense, because the foolish man or the man that's over you said do it this way, he'll bless it anyway. We see it happen all the time. All the time. We have a man that's under somebody else, a low-ranking man. He has an opinion. He thinks things should be done this way or that way. And the man over him, whether the plan was smart or not, because it was followed and it was executed, it got blessed. And it happens all the way like that. This truth, this environment, wasn't built on just pure raw intelligence. We don't got a whole bunch of IQs of 150, 140, 130 here. I promise you that. We was failing the schools. We didn't go to school. We decided that, you know what, I can do me, and my street wisdom gonna get me through life. That's who we were before we got to the truth. So the fact that we've sustained and grown and developed wasn't because of our street wisdom or our doctorates or our masters.
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trade, our life experience. That wasn't what got us through. It was the Most High in our faith and our servitude. Let that go. Give me Wisdom of Solomon 3 and verse 1 through 5. Yeah. Someone else give me 1 Corinthians. Say on 1 Corinthians 1. Is it this?
You said 1 Corinthians 1.
We don't got time for this one. Let Wisdom Solomon go. Let Wisdom Solomon go. Salaki. You can keep it in there. It's good, but let's skip to the main meat and potatoes. Go back to 1 Corinthians. We just finished. Where am I going? Let's go to 1 Corinthians 1 and verse 18. Yes, 1 Corinthians 1:18. And we're going to read all the way down to 27. Yes. Yeah, we'll do that. 1 Corinthians 1,
Right.
verse 18.
1:13.
18.
18. Come on.
Yes, sir.
1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 18. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness.
The preaching of the cross is to them that perish, meaning all the rebellious ones, all the prideful ones, all those that think they know something, all those that don't want to serve God. The preaching of the cross is foolishness before them. That's why when you talk to the Bible about to certain people in your life, they don't want it. They don't care for it. They'll call you extreme. I was called a terrorist. They'll say whatever they got to say to push you away from because they don't want God in their life. To them, the preaching of the cross is foolishness. Read on.
God. But unto us, which are saved, it is the power of the Most High.
Meaning, we can acknowledge and see there's no other way. All these individuals from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different belief systems, different morals and values came together under one banner, under one thought process, under one mind to serve God. Other than the fact that there was an intelligent, omnipotent power directing all of us here. We look at it like the truth is the proof that there's a God. The nation look at it like this is a cult. The nation look at it, this is a waste of time. This is moral suicide. This is career suicide. This is status suicide. That's how the people in the world look at it. We understand that everything we're giving up for this is because the Most High is that powerful, and we care for Him that much. Read on.
God. It says, for it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise.
Yep.
And will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent.
So again, he's saying the wisdom of the world doesn't mean anything. And prudence is another form of that wisdom. Prudence is common sense to avoid danger. Common sense and the truth doesn't have high value here. Can you follow and live a mind after the scriptures and have your actions be tailored to what the Bible tells you to do and not do? That's what he wants to find out. Read on.
Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Have not the Most High made foolish the wisdom of this world?
Hasn't he shown us that the best this world got to offer still doesn't make any sense? The best this world got to offer, we still have homeless people. We still have world hunger issues. We still have wars. We still have hate. We still have murder. We still have all this chaos in the world and confusion. But we got the wisest minds on the earth. That's how you know it doesn't make any sense. That's how he shows us this world is foolish. Don't hold on to it. It means nothing. It's not valuable. It hasn't worked. Read on.
For after that, in the wisdom of the Most High, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High.
What he's saying is, the more you think you know in the world, the less you can see the Most High. The more you keep the old ways of thinking, the harder it is for you to perceive the power of Christ. It won't make sense because it wasn't meant to mix. Read on.
It pleased the Most High by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe.
He said even the idea of preaching to the world is foolishness. Why is the idea of preaching to the world foolishness? I mean, Matthew.
Preach to it because they don't see where you're coming from. They don't see that this 4,000-year book is relevant today.
Yeah.
But it's timeless.
They don't see the fact that obedience and sacrifice equals grace. They don't see the point in why give up who I could be in the world or the success or the status or the fame just to serve this invisible power that I can't see. I'm going to give up what I can see for something that I can't see, to the world, that doesn't make sense. And to our people, it takes a long time to break that side of us. That's why I said the teaching is foolishness, but it pleased God that we still do it. Yes, sir. What you got?
You were saying about why we shouldn't be teaching, you know what I'm saying, or at least preaching to the world. There was a precept on that.
Why we shouldn't?
Well, you said you mentioned.
No, so it pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. What he's saying is the fact that I know that you preaching is only going to attract certain people.
Yeah.
That's why it's foolish. Because what you're saying is not going to be received by the majority, which is why it's foolishness.
Okay.
You had a verse for that?
Yes, sir.
Is it on point?
Yes, sir. Ecclesiastes 21:14.
Okay. Read it.
Okay. Ecclesiastes chapter 21 and verse 14. The inner parts of a fool are like a broken vessel, and he will hold no knowledge as long as he liveth.
You missed it. You probably went to the bathroom. But this verse was good with Isaiah 45.
Okay.
It's cool. You're right. A fool is like a broken vessel, which is why he said, you potsherds over here, you got pride, go find them other broken vessels. I ain't got time for that over here. Christ doesn't have time for broken vessels because they're regarded as fools. Because if you got pride, you're foolish. If you got pride in who you think you are, in your opinion, you're foolish. Go fight with the fools over there. They also got pride. Because over here, you're supposed to be humble. You're supposed to make an adjustment. But there you go. Give me back 1 Corinthians 1 in verse...
21?
Yep. No, 22.
Yeah, kind of. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 22. For the Jews require a sign.
He says, the Lord knows preaching is foolish because the Jews believe in signs. We believe in Negro spirituals. Something got to fall from the sky. We got to see a comet out of nowhere to confirm our faith. We got to get a what do they call those? A horoscope. To see if my thought process makes sense. I need some stones to light up, to glisten. If it glistens this right way, then I know I'm on the right direction.
That's a magic 8 ball.
Yeah,
shake it up.
It's all witchcraft. Bro. Should I do this? No. I guess I can't do it. Those are funny. What you got?
Bro, there's also another one where you put the crystal inside the. They call it moon water. So they put the water close by the window. Ooh.
Yeah.
While the moon
living water.
Yeah. It's always a full lunar moon out. They got some crazy doctrine or crazy belief. Or you flip some coins in the water. The wishing well.
Yeah.
Please let this happen for me. I'm feeding the well with quarters out. Someone's robbing the quarters at night. Please let this wish come true. All that doesn't make sense. Bro. But that's what we're teaching.
I was in LA, bro, and I was walking, in East LA, and then I walked to the store, and a bird, it took crap on me, bro, and it fell through my lens, and I come back to the barber shop, and I was like, hey, you can't believe this pigeon just took crap on me. And the barber, she's a friend of mine, she was like, that's good luck. I'm like, no, are you kidding me?
That's not.
It fell in my eye, like.
Yeah,
acid in there,
because when that crap fell on Paul's eye, it was showing that you were blind, Paul. You were blind, and what you were doing was foolish. Look, I'm not sitting here saying signs don't happen, because we in the truth, we always know there's signs. You know, if you're slipping, like I know for me, I always say my story. When I was slipping, it was one day, another prideful day I had. I was mad at the brother. I'm not gonna say the brother's name. He used my car. I didn't want to use my car because I wanted my car that day. I wanted my vehicle. I wanted the power to drive my car to move that day.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I was a soldier. I was a soldier of 50 at the time. And the brother in my hand, hey, bro, my car broke down. I need the car for the zone. I said yes. I said, Con, no problem, bro. But I was at the move, and I was having a really negative thought. I was upset. I said, this brother's irresponsible. This is what I said in my head. He's irresponsible. He probably got his car stung. That's why he don't got his vehicle, because he's lazy. And I was saying all kinds of insulting things. And as I was saying that, this shovel, it was hanging on top of the shed, came down and hit me in the side of the head. Bam. And I was like, whoa. And Shashwan walked up and said, you good at? I said, honestly, I was prideful. I was saying some negative things in my head. And as I said that, I got a call from the brother. He said, hey, Shlomo, I felt bad about earlier that I had to use your car. I want to apologize. I know it inconvenienced you. And I just felt like a dirtbag. I just felt even worse. This is icing on the cake. So, bro, not only you get hit in the head, then the brother apologized out of nowhere. And I'm like, Shashwan, I deserve that, bro. He said, yeah, you did. You was off. So we know those signs.
Injury.
Or you had a delivery and you have a negative thought and you get stung by wasps out of nowhere. It happened twice already, bro. Like, the customer walks in front of me, they don't get stung, and I had a quick thought that was negative, and I get hit in like 5 times. I'm like, bro, Lord, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I can see that. But our people are waiting for that all the time. They're waiting for that confirmation. I gotta get stung before I realize this is wrong. Instead of just accepting the fact that I shouldn't do it. What you got?
I said, or they numb to it. They don't see the.
Or they're numb to the destruction. They're numb to the stings. Oh, it's another Tuesday. This is how it is. No, it's not another Tuesday. But the point is, whether it's normal or it's not, that's what we're looking for as confirmation. We want a sign. Read.
It says, for the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom.
And the Greeks just want numbers. They want facts. They want information. So you're dealing with these type of people, this type of information, this type of mindset when people are coming to truth. Some just want the world to fall apart for them to see this is why I serve God. And others want all the facts and history in the world. And if you're wrong on one fact of history, they don't believe in God anymore. That's why he called it the foolishness of teaching. But all that's still pride. All that is still foolishness before the Most High. Read on.
But we preach Yahushua crucified, unto the Jews a stumbling block.
He said because to teaching Christ to the Jews that know the law, that know the Mosaic way of thinking, it was a stumbling block to them. To them, that was what stopped them from being looked at as faithful. Oh, so you're telling me that the law, following the law, wasn't enough to get to the kingdom? I gotta also love my brother, be sincere, actually change that wicked heart that's in my mind while following the law? That was too much for them. We couldn't conceive that. Read on.
But we preach Yahushua crucified, unto the Jews a stumbling block, and unto the Greeks foolishness.
And to the Greeks, to the nations, and to our people that were of the nations, we just didn't agree. That doesn't match my history. Your history doesn't match my history. That's always a debate. How about history is written by the victors? How about unless you read extensively, what do you know is true or not? Unless you've dedicated your life to reading and studying, you're going to be like everybody else. Whatever the news says, I believe. You're going to believe it all. And you're going to call everything that actually is true a conspiracy. So I'm not going to do the research to find out if it's true or not. I'm just going to accept that the world says it's a conspiracy. The world says it's a lie. It's a myth. But you ain't looking through the old books. Yeah, if Google fact checked it and said it's wrong, it's got to be wrong.
Now they got where you can go online and it says AI first. It says AI.
Look, AI is programmed. It's going to tell you what it's already said on Google anyway. Yeah. Again, history is written by the victors. So if you just going off of that and you ain't digging in these old books where no one, these books that ain't being pushed anymore, they're being buried, they're being blacklisted on the internet, you're not going to know anything.
Or they're expensive.
Or they're extremely expensive and people don't read anyway.
Right.
So not only you don't read, you're not going to buy $1,000 book. I can promise you, you're not going to do it. Because you're not going to read anyway. So that's the point. So what he's saying is, that's why it's foolishness. Because everybody has their opinion on life, but no one wants to follow God's opinion. Read on.
Okay. It says, but unto them which are called, both Jews and Greeks, Yahushua, the power of the Most High, and the wisdom of the Most High. Because the foolishness of the Most High is wiser than men, and the weakness of the Most High is stronger than men.
He said, even the foolishness of how the Most High does things that you might consider foolish is still wiser than you could ever be. It still makes more sense than you could ever make sense. So we can't have this opinion that my plan and my structure, the idea that I thought I had for my life is better than what the Most High wanted for me. We can't have that opinion. Read on.
For ye see your calling, brethren, had that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble.
What is he saying? You've been called and you weren't the top dog. You were not the top girl. You weren't the wisest or the smartest. He said, I didn't call the wise men of the flesh. If you're serving God, you were not the wise guy. You weren't the Einstein. He didn't call you because you wouldn't be able to see it. He said, I didn't call the mighty. I didn't call the noble. You weren't of royal blood. I didn't call any of those people. Read on.
It says, are called, but the Most High had chosen the foolish things.
The wise?
The foolish things.
Of what?
Of the world to confound the wise.
Because how else can he flex his power but taking a bunch of ingrates and failures in life and making them somebody and building them up? and giving them wisdom. How can the Most High truly show his power? But taking the worst of the worst, the most despised people on earth, and making them rulers, and making them leaders. It's easy to have Esau to be a world power when Christ comes back. They're already a world power. How about the people that have been oppressed for thousands of years and make them the world power? How would that look like? How would that story go? That's what story he's creating. So it don't matter what you're talking about. What you're talking about is not going to help him get to that goal. Your wisdom is not feeding in the right direction. Read on. You finished that already, right?
No, we didn't.
Okay, finish it.
Verse 27. But the Most High had chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And the Most High had chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty.
And that's the point. We don't have a military. We don't have a power source. But even so, he'll take us and still flip the world upside his head. Let that go. Give me, it's 10:05. We can run through these. Give me Wisdom of Solomon 5 verse 1 through 8.
Cover.
Yep.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 and verse 1 reads. Ready?
I am.
Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labor.
All we're waiting is for the Most High to flip this world upside down. So we can actually glory in the fact that we stuck it out. And we chose his way and his perspective over our opinion and over the world's opinion. Then we can have confidence in front of the people that made fun of us, the people that doubted what we were doing. They didn't account anything that we were living by as a value. Read on.
Come, verse 2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with the terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation.
Yeah, it's going to be real strange seeing a bunch of black people being lifted up in chariots and told you're going to be the power of the world now. That'll be strange as hell. Because there's no sickness, there's no example right now to show we're of any royal caliber. We're of any desirable people. We're sitting shaking tail fins at political events, talking about this is how we represent ourselves. This is our culture. That's not nothing to be proud about. It's shameful. But that's what we gloat on. We gloat on the foolish of the world. We gloat on the folly of the world. The rap, the killing, the drugs, the promiscuity, the prostitution. That's what we glory on. But that's why when we get saved, when the ones who were devout and sincere get saved, it will look strange. Because no one would have saw it coming. Read on.
Come, so far beyond all that they looked for.
Yep.
And they repented. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb of reproach.
So this is the same person, man and woman, that we made fun of, and we counted their life to be lost, and we counted their life to be a failure. Read on.
We fools accounted his life madness.
You are foolish and mad to think if you leave us, if you leave our education system, if you leave our job fairs, you're going to succeed and have a successful life. You're foolish. That's what they're telling us right now. Read on.
And his end to be without honor.
Yep.
How is he numbered among the children of the Most High? And his lot is among the saints.
How are these ingrates and failures the sons of God? That's going to blow everyone's mind. Because it wouldn't have made sense. And then the clarity would hit him. Damn. He did try to teach me. Man. I see the strength in it now. I see the wisdom in it now. But it's too late. That's why they're anguished and groaning in their spirit. Because it's too late. It's too late now to, oh man, I should have listened back then. When I saw him at the mall and I blew him off. I should have listened. I said, you gotta get a real job. You're not living a real life. Why are you suffering these long hours? What are you doing with yourself? Get you a real man. Get you an 8-figure, you know the saying. Get you one of them out there. What are you doing right now?
High value.
Brokey. That's the song now. What's her name?
A Brokey.
What's her name? Oh, you know the song. She knows the song. Yeah, that's right. That's a hit of musicity right now. Sisters are going crazy to that one. Not ours. I hope ours is name.
It went from a scrub to now you're a brokey.
It's Look, that's like the light version of it. That's Okay, it's cool. But no, there's been worse versions of that. But the point is, that's a horrible song. The point is, that's what they look at us as. That's how they imagine us. We're just those N-words on the street. Those failures. Read on.
Verse 6. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shined unto us.
This is the real coming to Jesus moment. When Jesus is actually in their face and they realize everything I stood for was a lie. All the pride that I had in my life and my wisdom meant nothing. That's the coming to Jesus moment that we're waiting for, and they don't even know what's coming yet. Read on.
Come. And the Son of righteousness rose not upon us.
Meaning, what it's saying is, although we thought we had wisdom, true wisdom was never shown to us. And now we know. Now we know that what we actually were doing was foolish. Read on.
Verse 7. We worried ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yeah, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it.
We've done everything and anything and still couldn't find God. Read on.
Come, verse 8. What hath pride profited us?
Read it again.
What hath pride profited us?
This might be about the nations, and it might be about people that rejected the Most High. But do we take a similar mentality when it comes to making change? Because pride is pride. Rebellion is rebellion. If I don't want to change today because I feel like I don't have to, or if I don't want to take correction because I feel like I'm past that already, I still have the same spirit that these wicked people have. I'm not far from the same mentality of completely rejecting Christ altogether. And that's how the Most High is looking at us. If you have a little pride, a little leaven leavens the whole lump. A little bit of that pride is holding you back from your grace. It's holding you back from your redemption from the Most High. Read that again.
Come, verse 8. What hath pride profited us? Or what good have riches with our vaunting brought us?
Because all that means nothing. All the materialistic stuff in the world means nothing. It has no value. You can't take it to the grave with you. You can't. Let that go. We're going to run through these last ones. I know we're running out of time. Give me Ecclesiastes 10 and 7. Someone else give me Psalm 10 and 4.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 7.
Yeah, we're going to finish this.
Yep. It says, pride is hateful.
Pride is what?
Pride is hateful.
Pride is hateful. Read.
Before the Most High and man.
So that's why in the truth, you get a strong reaction. Because not only does man despise a prideful man or woman, God despises a prideful man or woman. If you can't be moldable, you make the man's job more difficult. If you can't take instruction, you make his job more difficult. Because he's still required to teach you. He's still required to redirect you. But now, you're kicking against the pricks, and you're rebellious. It's hateful before man and the Most High. Let that go. Psalms 10 and 4.
Come.
We're running through these.
Psalms chapter 10, verse 4 reads, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will I not see.
Nope. Read it again.
So, come. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High.
Meaning, when I'm in my pride and I can't be told anything, my thought process or the godly conscience of my mind cannot correct me. It says, you will not seek after the Most High. Read on.
The Most High is not in all his thoughts.
Because if I have pride, then there's no spirit countering it. There's no godly spirit countering that. Which means there's certain spirits that we play with that remove the godly conscience out of us. If I play with pride, the godly side of me that makes the right decisions leaves me. That's what he's saying. Let that go. Give me Proverbs 8 and verse 13. Someone else give me Proverbs 14 and verse 2.
Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 13. The fear of the Most High is to hate evil.
We've been talking about it all night long. If you fear the Most High, which all the chosen and all those that want grace should be doing, you have to hate evil. Read. Pride.
And
arrogancy. If you can't hate that side of you, then you don't truly fear God.
And the arrogancy is a species of pride.
It's a species of pride. And it's built on what you've gained and accomplished in the world. When you start getting confidence, that arrogancy picks up. He says, if you want to be in alignment with Christ, and you say you fear God, and you want to show God I fear you, I have to hate pride. I have to hate the side of me that can't be told anything. I have to hate the side of me that flinches or hesitates when I'm checked, when I'm told about my way of thinking, when I'm told about my way of speaking. I got to hate that side of me if I want to really show the Most High I'm changing and growing. Read on, finish it.
Fine. It says, and the evil ways.
And the evil ways. Is that all from there?
Nah.
Okay.
And the froward mouth do I hate.
And he also hates the froward mouth. You got a bad mouth, or an evil, spiteful mouth, he's got a problem with that too. You have to hate all these things. All these things show if you fear the Most High now. If you can control your mouth, if you can control your pride, if you can control your arrogancy, if you can control your evil actions, just evil actions in general, then you show the Most High, I actually have a fear for you. Meaning I'm still serving you. If you can't, you're out of alignment. What you got?
And also that froward mouth, talking about that speech and that conversation that you have, whether it's amongst your peers or even within yourself, about not being governed.
Yeah.
You're being unused. You know what I'm saying?
Because, like we said earlier, that pride or your belief in what you know, your belief in what you think you know, feeds that fury, which comes out in what? Words.
Yeah.
Most people don't just have pride and keep it to themselves. After a while, at a certain boiling point, it's going to come out in their speech.
Yeah.
It's not what in the man. It's not what comes out of a man. No, it's not what you put in. I'm not going to put it. I'm pushing it. It's Mark 8:21. I know the verse. I'm skewing it. It's fine. No, 7:21. 7:21. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to skew. I'm not going to screw it up. The point is, what you say is a reflection of what's in your mind. We don't get super deep and deeper than we got to be. All right, let that go. Give me Proverbs 14 and verse 2.
Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 2. He that walketh in his uprightness feareth the Most High.
If you walk in the correct path in righteousness, you fear the Most High. Read.
But he that is perverse in his ways despiseth him.
If you're perverse, I need that perverse. Let me pull it up. Perverse. Give me 2.
Perverse. 1828, Webster's Dictionary, point number 2. Obstinate in the wrong. Disposed to be contrary.
You're disposed to be contrary, or you're what? Stubborn.
Stubborn.
That's your default.
Come on, man. That you don't finish it out, man. I was trying to finish the point when you read it.
I'm sorry, sir. I got it. All right. Verse. Obstinate in the wrong. Disposed to be contrary. Stubborn.
If you're stubborn, I was looking for the simplest word, right? Because if you get too deep, we say untractable. That's not a common word we use, right? But we use stubborn a lot. You stubborn. The Most High says, but he that is perverse or stubborn in his ways despises God. Meaning, I'm hearing these scriptures, I hear the counsel, I hear the fact that I have to make an adjustment. If I'm still stubborn and I still got pride and I want to listen, I actually despise the Most High. What you got?
Ooh, untractable, right?
See, I was trying to not get the big word. What's the big word said?
Sorry, sir. This is crazy.
Untractable. What you got for that?
Untractable. It says, not yielding to discipline.
Yep.
It also means ungovernable.
Yep.
It says, not yielding to the heat or to the hammer.
He says, you're not.
That's crazy.
That's dope. You're not yielding to the heat or the hammer. You're not yielding to the level of discipline the Most High has put in your life to make you change, to force that change out of you. You're not yielding to the adversity to force that change to you. So you're perverse. And if you stay in that perverse mindset, you're showing the Most High, I'm not going to change. I despise you. You don't have to say it to live it. Our actions show what we actually feel. Read on to verse 3.
Verse 3. In the mouth of the foolish.
Not the wise. Read.
In the mouth of the foolish is a rod of pride.
I mean, in the mouth of a foolish person, we're going to beat the people around us with our prideful words. Read on.
But the lips of the wise shall preserve them.
This is what I really want. When you go in the Blue Letter Bible and break down what that preserve means, it means to guard retain or keep watch of. It says the mouth of the wise is going to guard and keep watch of what they say. Because they understand I can't just say everything that I feel. Just because I felt the emotion, just because the thought was there, if I want to be in alignment with the Most High and not anger Him, I have to guard that thought. I have to guard that word and figure out a way to get rid of it. That's what he's saying. But the foolish is always going to have the rod of their pride in their mouth. They're always going to say what they feel. They have no filter. They have no way to control themselves. Let that go. Give me Ecclesiastes 15, verse 7 through 8. And then the last verse will be Proverbs 11, 2 through 3.
Ecclesiastes chapter 15, verse 7 reads, "But foolish men shall not attain unto her."
Foolish people, staying in their foolishness, staying stubborn, will not obtain wisdom or not obtain the clarity to get rid of these negative thoughts. Because they got too much holding them back. They have too many experiences or too many ideas or perspectives that are holding them back from seeing the clarity of the Most High. Read on.
Come. It says, "And sinners shall not see her.
Yep.
For she is far from pride."
She is far from what?
Pride.
So pride is what? Nope. Read 7 again.
Come, but foolish men shall not attain unto her, and sinners shall not see her.
Sinners will not see her. Read.
For she is far from pride.
So what is pride? Anybody?
I do the opinion of what's up.
You just said what he said, man.
Oh,
Nobody knows what pride is?
yeah. Inordinate self-esteem.
No, I want a definition. What is pride? How does God look at pride? We've been going through the whole class about it. It's a sin.
The beginning of sin. Yeah.
It's. I know. Read over the verse. Oh, our people, come on, man. We're over the whole class out. It's the beginning of sin. If you're sinning because you got pride, you're not going to get wisdom. So you're going to be spitting your wisdom all for nothing. That's what he's saying. If your objective is to grow in the truth, then don't have pride. Because if you got pride, you're not going to grow in the truth. That's the equation. All right? Keep reading.
Come, verse 8 from the top. For she is far from pride, and men that are liars cannot remember her.
You're not going to remember the scriptures. If you're having a hard time remembering scriptures, it's probably because you're in pride. It's probably because you're a liar, because you don't say you're in prideful. So now you got double sin on you. I'm a liar, I'm a prideful person, and I don't believe I'm prideful, so now I'm double sinning. And you wonder why. You look up and I'm not getting no wisdom. I can't retain nothing. That's what the scripture is saying. But there you go, last verse. Proverbs 11 and verse 2 through 3.
Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 2. It says, when pride cometh, then cometh shame.
When pride comes, the Most High will make it a point to shame you again. One way or another. Read on.
But with the lowly is wisdom.
If you want wisdom, you want grace, you want forgiveness, you want to give a pure offering, you have to stay in a humble state of mind. There's no other way around it. Read on.
The integrity of the upright shall guide them.
The integrity, I think I had this in the definition as well. The integrity, it was genuine, pure and genuine, unadulterated state of mind. That pure side of us, that pure humility that we had when we first came in, when we were a sponge and soaking up everything and taking counsel from anybody, didn't even know who was an elder, who wasn't, who was a soldier or a trooper or not. I'm taking whatever I can get because I want to get as close to Most High as fast as possible. That's the pure, unadulterated perspective. He says, those people, the integrity of the upright, shall constantly guide them because they'll keep that integrity. They'll keep that genuine nature to them. They'll keep that humility. Read on.
All right. It says, the integrity of the upright shall guide them.
Yep.
But the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them.
The perverseness, that stubbornness of people who keep making mistakes, keep sinning, keep that pride on them and don't want to make any change in their life, it's going to eventually destroy them and bow them out of the truth, and they're going to look back and be another I hate the truth story because they didn't see the purity of it because they couldn't keep their conscience clean. Is that understood? Is there any questions, comments, or concerns? Okay. With that, that is it for the class tonight. The water for those that are online watching. Tomorrow will be a normal Sabbath. I suppose. I believe so. Award Shanshwan so we'll see you guys then. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please email us at isbhpk@yahoo.com, and we'll get to you as soon as possible. Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.